touchdown passes in a game.
Cadillac Manis has so many great traits as a quarterback, but to go from good to great as a passer, he's got to be a little bit more accurate with the football. I think offense coordinator Kirk Soraka is going to try to get him in rhythm here early, get the ball out quickly, get him some confidence, like a free throw shooter, getting the first one to go through the net. That's what I want to see for Cadillac Manis right now.
Well, the other part to this, too, they did not throw a pass farther than 19 yards down the field in week 1 against Howard. See if that's something that plays out here today in week number 2. Cadillac Manis keeps it on the rollout, looks downfield, and he had an open man, and he left it short. Dymere Miller was open past the 40. Cadillac Manis missed him on the hop. As we take a look at your impact players, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. We know about Monungai, but CJ Nunnally IV off the edge for Akron is great too.
Nunnally's an NFL caliber pass rusher in third down in big moments. Watch Nunnally coming off the edge. He's got great quickness and athleticism to get to the quarterback.
Akron's defense last week, yes, they gave up 52 points, but there was a pick 6. 3 turnovers by the offense. Joe Moorhead was happy with how the defense played. Monungai squirts through the hole and broke a tackle into the secondary, and he picks up 13 yards on his first carry.
That's what Monungai does. After first contact, keeps the feet going. Watch Monungai here break some tackles, chopping the feet right through the first one. See, he gets contacted about 3 yards downfield, but somehow finds a way to turn it into a 12, 13-yard run. That's what makes him such an elite running back.
Has so many explosive plays. He got his 165 last week on just 19 carries. Cadillac Manis with play action. Open man across the middle. Ian Strong's got his first grab, and they pick up 15 more into Akron territory.
When you run the football well, that's what it opens up. The play action, linebackers have to step up. It gives Cadillac Manis a really good, clear vision. Watch the linebacker step up here, and then Ian Strong comes right behind. Nice vision by Cadillac Manis and an accurate football, allowing Strong to run after the catch.
Initially a pickup of 16 yards. Strong had 2 grabs last week. Also had a crucial drop on the opening series. Statistically for Cadillac Manis last week, 15 of 24. Started the game below 50% in the first couple of quarters, but picked that up as the game went along. Monungai again bouncing off tacklers, and the offensive line pushing him downfield. That is 9 more for the old Big Ten running back on first down.
Akron linebacker Tavius Fish, number 10, comes up and makes a good play, but misses the tackle. Man, Monungai is a hard guy to bring down. Great job by Monungai running the feet again, causing a gang tackle to get him to the ground. That is impressive job so far by Monungai. He seems to get more physical as he gets contacted more in the hole. It's impressive.
Fourth quarter yards were his specialty last season. 2nd and 1 on the Akron 37-yard line. He gets it again. He's got the first down. Brought down by Brian McCoy. But if you're Joe Moorhead and you're looking at this, you know, for Akron's defense, their run defense is stout, their front 7 is good, they have experienced players. That has been the strength for Akron, but they're getting gashed here on the opening drive.
The key to this game is the Rutgers run offense against the Akron run defense. For Akron and their defensive coordinator, Tim Tibesar, I would be loading the box, trying to stop the run and make Cadillac Manis beat you in this game with his arm, but so far, Monungai's having a day.
Receiver still on the field. Pressure up the middle. Cadillac Manis was drilled, and it's intercepted. He got hammered as he threw it, and Damon David comes up with the interception for Akron.
And that's a throw Cadillac Manis just can't make. Inaccurate throw, but the Akron defensive line gets to him. Great job here, getting to the quarterback, having good contact, and Cadillac Manis throws it up for grabs. And then let's watch David. Great job tracking the football. Look at his eyes, going up and high, pointing the ball, taking it out of the receiver's hands. That's a big-time play by the safety.
Akron, no takeaways last week. They were -3 in turnover margin against the Buckeyes. But again, they are confident on that side of the ball. And so the Zips come away with a turnover on the defensive side. So for the Zips, they come out onto the field with Ben Finley as their starting quarterback. He got banged up last week against the Buckeyes. got injured on the opening play of the game and ended up leaving in the third quarter, but he's an experienced guy. He's been around the country at both NC State and Cal last year, and they think he's got a good chance to be good in the MAC.
And Finley's a smooth operator, man. Just looks efficient back there. He's confident. Another guy that's seen a lot of football, as you just said, actually beat UNC in his first career start at NC State, so he's won football games at a high level.
But just one on first down. This is not a team that's been good at running the football. Finley's running for his life. Lewis giving chase. He doesn't throw it away, and that's a loss all the way 6-yard line of 5 yards.
Nice job there by defensive end Aaron Lewis, who's been around in the Big Ten for a long time, getting penetration and chasing Ben Finley out of bounds to bring up the third down and long. This is a situation you can't be in as the Akron offense. You get a big turnover, got to be efficient on first and second down, because now Ben Finley's in a tough situation as a quarterback against his own end zone.
His offense last week, just 177 yards of offense. They do have two quarterbacks who are on the field regularly together, Finley and Taj Bullock. They'll stop this play dead. Looked like Joe Moorhead got a timeout.
Timeout, Akron. That is their first of the half. It'll be
So Joe Moorhead did get that timeout before this 3rd and 15. Early in the game, his defense has a takeaway. Football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Marathon and by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Here on the banks, Rutgers and Akron early in the first quarter. Scarlet Knights threw an opening drive interception. Akron backed up. A couple of tackles for loss for a 3rd and 15 for their transfer quarterback, Ben Finley. In his own end zone, pressured off his face, gets it to his tight end, but not a lot of room for Jake Newell. Gang tackle from the Rutgers defense, and the Zips will go 3 and out.
Really nice stop there by the Rutgers defense after having the turnover on offense, getting the stop. That's complimentary football. Not letting Akron keep the momentum in this game. Nice job by their defensive line getting penetration, not letting Finley get comfortable in the pocket.
Greg Schiano team, you always know that block punts, certainly something you're watching for. Christian Dremel back deep. Dangerous return man as well.
This is the place to come after the punt.
Avery Book is standing 7 yards inside his own end zone. Gets it away. Dremel waves for the fair catch and makes it at the 45-yard line. So a 46-yard punt. Nothing on the return, which will bring Ethan Kaliak-Manis back out. And you know, the pressure was there, was certainly there on the last drive for the interception. Adam Brenneman, let's get your keys to the game. Sponsored by Modelo. Now recruiting full-time fans. Please drink responsibly.
For Akron, I want to see Taj Bullock, their backup quarterback, number 12, be used in different spots in this game as a tight end, as a receiver, get him active all over the field. For Rutgers, it's all about creating those explosive plays on offense. We saw him first drive take some shots down the field, but first, Kaliak-Manis has to be more accurate on some of those throws.
The decision-making was the conversation with Greg Schiano and Kirk Shiraka yesterday, how much they liked his opener last week. Back to the ground, Monungai and Akron closes it quickly. Brian McCoy, solid linebacker. Again, the front 7 for Akron stout.
Yeah, really, really good defense. I mean, talking to Kirk Shiraka, Rutgers offense coordinator, he said they give you so many problems on the defensive side of the ball. We'll see Akron have 7, 8 guys at the line of scrimmage sometimes today just to confuse the quarterback and the offensive line.
Boyd last week had 3 tackles, came off the field a couple of times with injuries against Ohio State. And they forced the Buckeyes to punt the ball early. They got a couple of 4th down stops last week. So yes, Akron has struggled record-wise, but they've got a good defense on the field. And they stopped Monungai again, this time after about 4 yards. The whistles blow that dead before the offensive line kept the push going. And so it'll be 3rd down and about 6 yards here for Kaliak-Manis.
As an offensive line, there's nothing better than having a running back like Monungai, who you know is going to battle for those extra yards. Just builds that kind of continuity between the running back and O-line. But here, Jason, 3rd down and 6. This is still an area that Rutgers can run the football. You're at midfield, probably 4-down territory. You got a guy like Monungai who's getting 5, 6, 7 yards a pop. Run game is still on the table.
Amir Miller, he's in the slot for the Scarlet Knights at the bottom of your screen. The transfer from Monmouth had his first touchdown last week. Caliac Manis has time. Out of the backfield to Monungai, and an open field tackle. Brian McCoy stayed out there with the running back and stopped him after 2 yards.
I love the call by Rutgers to get Monungai a creative touch in space instead of just handing the ball off. But an even more impressive job. Watch 40, the linebacker McCoy, right side of the screen, track down Monungai, make an open field tackle. We saw it already today. Monungai is not an easy guy to tackle in the open field. That's a big time stop by McCoy to force a fourth down.
And you talked about it, might be 4 down territory. Scarlet Knights went for it on 4th down 3 times last week. 1 of 3. See if they actually go for this here on the Akron side of the field, or it's just a hard count. They are going for it. Caliac Manis is going to throw. He had an open man and left it short. Pressure in his face off the edge from the safety, Paul Lewis, and he could not get it to his open receiver.
Paul Lewis makes this play happen. Coming off the edge, watch number 9. Getting to Caliac Manis, forcing the throw. Bad pass, and Akron's got the ball back.
Scoreless here inside SHI Stadium. If you're looking for the Penn State Bowling Green game, go to btn.com/gamefinder right now. See where you can find the game in your area. Big Ten against the Mid-American Conference. With those two, that game is tied at 7. Falcons had an early lead. Drew Allard just had a rushing touchdown. After a turnover on downs, Ben Finley throws, and he's got Amarian Granger. So a completion for 4 yards.
Akron's going to struggle to run the football with their young offensive line and how good this Rutgers front 7 is. So I expect them to use this quick passing game as their run game. Get the ball out quickly. Finley's got to be more accurate with this football, though. If that's on the money, his receiver can turn upfield for a few more yards.
Good job by Granger there to get
nice
hands
catch.
under it. Yes, it was slipping on the pellets. Finley, pump fake, dumps it to his running back, steps out of bounds. Charles Kellum played in 11 games last year and 3 carries last week. And you mentioned that they struggle to run the football. That's not just against Rutgers or Ohio State last week. Akron has been one of the worst running football teams in the country the last couple of years.
It's been an issue for a long time at Akron, and it really puts your quarterback in a tough spot when you don't have that play-action game that everyone bites on. The last play we just saw, they tried to run play-action, but the defense didn't bite. No one was open down the field, and Finley had to check it down.
I wonder, too, if this is 4-down territory for them. Finley keeps it himself, gets through the hole, and Ben Finley slides down at the 35 with Flip Dixon, who was back in the lineup this week after missing there to make the tackle. But that was a problem for Rutgers defense last week, a mobile quarterback, and Ben Finley picks up the first down.
Yeah, great job here by Finley, recognizing the hole. This is the called quarterback run. Nice job coming out of the C gap. Offensive line clears it. Finley being that he's not a super athletic guy, but he's athletic enough to make plays like that and opens up that dynamic of the offense.
And again, if you watched Akron last week against Ohio State, you saw their other quarterback, Taj Bullock, on the field making plays like that. He has not played yet. Kellum out of the backfield. Great throw into the secondary and inside the 10-yard line. Shaquan Loyal saved a touchdown, but they pick up 26 yards on the pass play.
Really nice play design here by Joe Moorhead. Kellum, the running back, hits the seam route. Watch 22 here. He's going to go to the right down the seam. Finley pretends he's running the football, steps up, and hits an accurate pass to Kellum for an explosive play. Really nice play design, showing that quarterback run fake again.
Finley has not missed a pass yet. Perfect 4 for 4 here in the quarter. Hands it off to Kellum, and he's brought down without a gain. Robert Longerbeam, the corner, one of the team captains, coming up to make the stop. So a challenge here right for the get-go for this Rutgers defense.
Yeah, this is the critical times in the game when you're inside the 10-yard line. You're giving up some yards on the ground, some yards through the air. Can your defense step up and get a stop? I'm looking at guys like 71 Aaron Lewis, 28 Chibome. Can they make plays right here in big moments?
Only 10 minutes gone by here in the opening quarter. Only changing the play, still plenty of time on the clock, down to 5. Now they're down to 0, and that plenty of time ran out. Oh, and he changed the play. There were a lot of time left on the play clock. That evaporated quickly.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Man, JC, you talk about just critical mistakes for your offense, and this is why Akron's lost some of these close games. They're playing good football right now, but they don't snap the ball on time. Now you're in second down and goal from your own 14-yard line, from the 14-yard line. Not a good position for your quarterback to be in. Makes it tough on your offense when you have some momentum.
Now there you see with Adrian Norton, maybe their go-to receiver, but the other part of this too, and you talked about this as your key, get Taj Bullock the ball. He's their backup quarterback, but he is one of their best offensive players, and you saw it a lot last week. He is on the field on a regular basis as a skill position player. He lines up under center. He's got the football. Rutgers was ready for it. Right up the gut. The transfer from Florida State, Malcolm Ray with the sack.
What a play by Malcolm Ray. Number 9, middle of the screen, just splits right through the center. That's an athletic guy making a big play. Or Taj Bullock trying to get some trickeration here for Akron's offense. Man, he's seen a lot of college football. Was a big-time recruit from Florida State. You think Florida State wishes he was still playing for him right now?
I'd say so. Although their problem may be more about a quarterback problem. Well, Akron was inside the 10. Now they're backed up to the 24 on 3rd and goal. Finley back to the air. Pressure again. Fires incomplete. Granger, the intended receiver, loyal with great coverage. And the Zips will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Great stand there by the Rutgers defense. They gave up an explosive play. But watch the secondary here. Great coverage all the way around. Man-to-man coverage with one high safety. Locked down by Shaq Loyal. Really impressive job in getting some momentum back on your side after getting a stop.
Harris Simiak, the defensive coordinator in his 3rd year here with the Scarlet Knights. So a 41-yard field goal attempt for Garrison Smith. He hit 2 last week. This one he misses wide left. Well, he drilled them in the shoe from 48 and 49. They added their confidence, but Akron unable to take advantage of the great field position. Still scoreless here at Piscataway. Well, next Saturday, Big Ten tailgate live from Michigan's campus to set the scene for a full day of football. Fun begins at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Mike Hall and company only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Wolverines today taking on Texas at the Big House. Big Ten tailgate today was in Happy Valley. Indy Lions playing Bowling Green, Michigan next week. We'll welcome Arkansas State here. We're scoreless. Jason Horowitz, Adam Brenneman, Taryn Hatcher down on the field. The handoff to Monangai, who cut inside and picks up a couple. And you know, Ethan Kaliak-Manis, Adam, you talked about getting him in rhythm early. He's thrown an interception. He hasn't looked comfortable yet against the Akron defense.
Yeah, every throw Kaliak-Manis has made has been a drop-back throw where he's going through progressions. I want to see Kirk Soraka get Kaliak-Manis some easy completions here. Get it out quick to the perimeter. Get some confidence for your quarterback. Maybe Dymere Miller, their receiver in the slot. Get him a quick touch, quick completion right here.
The offensive line will have to hold up too. Akron has had some great pressure in this ball game. 2nd and 7. He does have play action. He delivers on time. Dymere Miller crossed into the Akron sideline for a 1st down.
That's exactly what Rutgers needed to draw up. The quick play action. Give Kaliak-Manis one read. Watch the play action here. The linebackers step up, and Dymere Miller comes from the right to left side of the screen on the crossing route. Accurate football right over the linebacker, and Miller makes a nice catch through contact. And Miller's a great player. Played a lot of football at Monmouth, FCS All-American. Going to be the go-to guy on 3rd down and critical moments for this Rutgers offense.
Well, and again, that's the part of this for Rutgers, right? They feel like they have their quarterback, that position improved. You know you got the running backs. Do you have the go-to receiver? Incomplete. Chris Long, the intended receiver. Again, solid coverage. Devontae Golden Nelson, the transfer from Memphis.
Golden Nelson is a big-time cornerback. He's got great feet, but watch him come in here with the right arm. Swat the ball out. Nice job. Actually, his left arm, grabbing the receiver's arm. That's what they teach you. If you can't get to the football, grab his arm to make sure he can't get 2 hands on it. Really nice play by Golden Nelson.
He's an experienced player, 5th year in college. Not a ton of starts in his 3rd year at Akron after transferring over from the American Athletic Conference and the Tigers. So 2nd and 10, Kaliak-Manis in the ballgame so far, just 3 of 7 for 31 yards. He's going to throw again. Wide open man, and he comes back to the ball, falling to the turf. Dymere Miller with his second grab of the drive, and they pick up 12.
That's going to be a great connection for Rutgers this season. Watch Dymere Miller in the slot on the out route. Good throw by Kaliakmanis. And Miller picks up the first down. So that play action, when you're able to run the football, it forces those linebackers to step up, and you get just one-on-one coverage on the outside. That's the benefit of Kyle Monangai as your running back.
And again, Monangai has not come off the field yet. As Darren told you to start this game, Samuel Brown not playing today. He is out on the availability report. Monangai has gotten the entire workload. He's got it again. Shows you why. Monangai inside the 20 and down at the 4-yard line. He breaks off a 45-yarder to set Rutgers up at 1st and goal.
Fantastic job by this Rutgers O-line. Watch number 12, Fletcher, the tight end, get a kick-out block. Then Monangai hits the hole. I mean, that hole was 5 feet wide. Monangai explodes through, finds contact to finish the run. He is an impressive running back, man. This is an NFL caliber player.
He has been outstanding. Officially 46 yards from Monangai. He's got 78 yards here in the first quarter. Remember last week, 165, he tied his career high. He's almost halfway there. Down to 1 on the play clock. Gives it to Monangai. Burst through the hole. Touchdown, Rutgers. He has been the offense for a couple of seasons, and Monangai's got the Scarlet Knights on the board.
Another fantastic run by Monangai, lowering his shoulder, gets hit in the backfield almost, finds a way to get in the end zone. After the explosive run, the 40-some-yard run, go right back to him. Most running backs come off the field there, Jason, and take a break. He stays in the game, takes the handoff. He is a monster at the running back position. And this Rutgers O-line with a great drive.
Jay Patel on the field. They had the extra point. He was perfect, 5 of 5 last week. And he's good again here. So after Akron misses a 41-yard field goal, Rutgers right down the field. And Greg Schiano has got Monangai in the end zone. Kyle Monangai finally getting a breather as we take a look at the scoring drive presented by Marathon. Proud to save drivers and their co-pilots up to $1 on every gallon. 6 plays, 76 yards. The big play in there, though, the 46-yard Monangai run.
It was a good drive. It was just complimentary football. They threw the ball a little bit. Kaliakmanis got in rhythm, had some accurate passes, and then Monangai, man, with the explosive run, then staying in the game, getting the ball in the end zone. When this offense clicks and Kaliakmanis is throwing the ball well and they're running it well and the play action passes are working, it's a tough offense to stop.
Well, you said Kaliakmanis has to get in rhythm, and you thought maybe with Monangai's early big plays. Remember, he had 3 carries of 8 yards or more on their first 3 rushing attempts. That finally paid off on that one. Jack Scullione set to kick it away. Line drive boot, and Akron will bring it out to the 25-yard line. And you know, now if you play tight end career at Penn State and UMass, and we talk about momentum so often in football. It's an Akron team that last week hung with Ohio State for 2.5 quarters. They had a chance to take the lead. They were inside the 10, missed a 41-yard field goal after 3 negative plays, and now all of a sudden they're trailing. Yeah,
and you think about just finding ways to win games if you're Akron. I mean, last drive, had the ball on the 9-yard line, got stopped, didn't get any points. Now you have a chance. So you got the ball back, you just give up a touchdown, get momentum back on your side. But it's one play at a time mentality for Ben Finley. Don't try to win the game here with every throw you make. Just get it out in space to your playmakers, be accurate with the football, and don't turn it over.
They're deep in the play clock again, down to 1 and 0, and they ain't get it off. So for the second time in 4 plays, a delay
game. Offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Brian Banks, our referee today with this Big Ten crew. How does that happen off of a kickoff?
And Finley has to be more aware of the time situation. This is a guy that's played a lot of football, Power 4 football at Cal and NC State. He has to know the time on the clock. That's completely on the quarterback.
1st and 15. Into the near side. That's caught and broken up. Israel Polk had it poked away by the captain, Robert Longerbeam.
Really good throw there by Finley. in a nice read, but longer beam uses those long arms to break up the pass. That was a great play by the defensive back there. Watch longer beam here, number 7, come in and break this pass up. Man, he wasn't even covering Polk and found a way to force the drop.
I don't know what Polk ever had it, because it was almost longer beam got him maybe on a passing shot.
I think Polk might have heard the footsteps from longer beam behind him.
The quick throw out to the tight end, Jake Newell, down the sideline, and he picks up all the penalty yards and more. So instead of 3rd and long, Akron will have 3rd and about 3 after the 12-yard pickup.
Yeah, I love getting the tight end involved early in this game for Akron.
Shocker.
Jake Newell's a reliable guy with good hands. Get him the ball in the flat. And the great thing about tight ends, they can run after the catch, and they always fall forward, man, because they're so big. But brings up a big 3rd down here for Akron.
And they do not have to snap this. If Joe Moorhead wants to take this in the second quarter, he can. And he's walking to the other end. Ben Finley has walked off the field. And so they do not look like that they are going to snap this, and they won't. So a big 3rd down coming up on the other side for Akron. Here at the end of the first quarter in New Jersey, the Scarlet Knights up a touchdown. Akron just 43 yards of offense in that first quarter for Joe Moorhead. His team has a crucial 3rd and 4 to start the second quarter. Jason Horwitz, Adam Brenham, and Taryn Hatcher here at SHI Stadium. Dean Blandino, if we need anything rules-wise. Does Joe Moorhead draw up here on 3rd down?
Get the ball on the perimeter to your playmakers and force Rutgers to tackle in space. Wouldn't be surprised to see Bobby Golden, number 4, touch the ball here.
He's the man in motion. He looks that way, has time, he's cleared it out, and he's got a 1st down. Adrian Norton takes it out to the 39-yard line. An 8-yard pass and a 1st down for Akron. Moments ago, Taryn down on the field with Greg Schiano.
All right, Coach, it seemed like in those final 2 minutes, your offense was able to figure it out, get it going, culminating in a Kamanungai touchdown. What did you see on that drive that you like that got things moving?
Well, Kyle's been falling in the right direction, so that's good. He broke one out of there. I think Ethan's got his legs underneath him now, so we gotta execute. Like I said in the pregame, they're a really good defense, and they're going to make you earn everything.
Thank you for the time, Greg.
There's no question about that. That is the strength of this Akron team. Jordan Simmons, the one-time Michigan State Spartan, has Akron's best run of the game. Big 2nd down at about 1.
Now that Akron's close to midfield, got a 1st down on this drive. I'd like to see Joe Moorhead take a shot down the field, try to get a big chunk right here to one of your receivers. I got Norton, number 15, bottom of the screen, who's probably their best receiver.
And he had his first catch of the season on that last grab. They go back to the ground, they pick up the 1st down. And that's a big sign for them. Again, Akron as a rushing team last year, 131st in the country. They only averaged about 80 yards a game on the ground. The offensive lines had some moving parts with some injuries. So that was their biggest concern coming into this game.
Yeah, and it makes the job of Joe Moorhead as a play caller so important because he doesn't have a great run game. So he needs to find ways to scheme up different touches for his running backs, scheme up ways to run the football, and then get your quarterback comfortable. I think he's done a pretty nice job of that so far. Akron's been able to move the football, just doesn't have any points yet.
Zips missed a 41-yard field goal on their last drive. Finley takes a shot and over the head of Bobby Golden at the 31-yard line. Take a look at our impact players, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. Ben Finley's certainly been the starting quarterback here for Akron on this side of the ball. DJ Jabome, who had a massive impact last week. Haven't really heard from him yet.
And Jabome, though, is all over the field. He's been pretty active today, just doesn't have a bunch of tackles. But watch number 28, because he will take you to the football. He's got great instincts. And then Norton, for this Akron offense, he had no catches last week against Ohio State, but I expect they get him involved at some point in this game.
Jabome last week with 14 tackles, most by any Big Ten player in week 1. Behind the intended receiver, Polk, and so, positive plays on the ground. They went back to the air. Finley not accurate with either pass, and it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, that's a throw that Finley has to make. If that's completed, you put your offense probably in a 3rd down and 4, 3rd down and 3. Everything's on the table. It's 4-down territory. Now 3rd down and 10. It's a tough spot to be in, but Finley is he's too experienced and too good of a natural passer to miss throws like that. He's got to pick it up.
2 of 4 so far on 3rd down. Finley opened the game 6 of 8. He's missed his last 2. Scarlet Scarlet Knights bring a blitz up the middle, steps up, and it's incomplete. Aaron Lewis had the pressure right in Finley's face, and 3 straight incompletions. It's 4th down.
And watch number 71, Aaron Lewis, the defensive end. Really nice job, left side of the screen. Comes up the middle of the defense, getting pressure in Finley's face and forcing the errant throw. Nice job there by the Rutgers defense, putting Lewis in the middle of the defense, not at his normal defensive end spot, to allow him to get after the quarterback and scheming up some ways for 71 to get home.
Now, remember, one of the conversations last week, they got pressure on Howard. They only had 1 sack, and Rutgers last year was not a big sack total team, just 21. So Book is back to punt it away and a flag, and I think we're about to have our 3rd delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Well, you wonder too, I mean, Avery Book last week averaged nearly 49 yards a punt, so you do give him a little bit more space to try and pin Rutgers back.
I was going to say, I think that was a delay of game they had on purpose to give him more space to punt this football, so it's not a touchback.
His first punt went 46 yards. This one a line drive spiral that's going to take an Akron bounce inside the 10 and the 5. Oh, were they on the ball go over? That was close. They let that bounce all the way, but at the moment it is down at the 1-yard line. We'll take a look at that when we come back. 52 yards for now if it stands. Scarlet Knights leading Akron 7-0, trying to get the offense in full motion. Go back to this punt here by Book, and Terrence Thomas is rolling and rolling, and it almost looks like Akron's going to overrun the football, but it never touches the goal line.
Yeah, nice job by Thomas stopping it just in time. And it doesn't matter at where the players are on the field. The ball just can't cross the white line on the end zone there. So nice job by the Akron special teams getting the stop, and now trying to get a safety.
Rutgers backed up with 99 yards of green in front for Ethan Kaliak-Manis, who's throwing on 1st down. Quick out to the side, and it's caught. And they pick up 9 yards right away, and that is Ben Black, the freshman from Charlotte, with his first career Rutgers grab.
Really good throw there by Kaliak-Manis with his back against the end zone. You're hearing the footsteps of the defensive line, not a ton of space to work with. Makes a great throw to Ben Black, who, man, may be the fastest player on this Rutgers offense. I think Ben Black will have a big role in this offense throughout Big Ten play this season.
Well, they're big-time receivers in this program's history. Another guy takes it. He does not have the 11, so it will be 3rd down and short. Coy making another tackle for Akron.
3rd down and short. When you have a guy like Kyle Monungai, I think it makes the call pretty easy for Kirk Soraka, right? Go back to your running back. I'd be surprised if this ball isn't in Kyle Monungai's hands.
And you were right. And they've got a 1st down. He got low to the ground, and Monungai picks up 7 more as the all-Big Ten back is approaching 100 yards.
Jason, watch how low Kyle Monungai gets to the ground here through the hole. He's almost touching the ground. Look right there. Look how low he is just to keep that balance through contact. Not many running backs can get through that hole and pick up 5-6 yards on that kind of carry. It's impressive.
11 carries for Kyle Monungai, 88 yards and a touchdown. And the other part to that impressive performance so far, he has not come off the field yet for an offensive snap.
He doesn't get tired.
He's got it again, and he's wrapped up by a couple of zips falling forward. And, you know, that's what Greg Schiano told Taryn on the field between quarters. He's falling the right directions.
Yeah, man, one of the great things about Monungai, I got to talk about Big Ten Media Day. I'm talking about just having a chip on his shoulder, how he's always been doubted. And even, I said, you're doubted even coming back this season. Everyone knows about you. He goes, I'm still not talked about as the best running back in the country, but I am. And let me tell you, Jason, he's running like a guy that has a chip on his shoulder. You see it almost every single play.
Well, he talks about Isaiah Pacheco watching him and now watching him in Kansas City, and a guy who runs violently, always falls forward. Did it again on Thursday night against the Ravens. Kaliak-Manis back to the air. Ooh, dangerous throw, and almost intercepted. Out there on the outside. Catrell White was there in coverage.
Watch 21 White, top of the screen, break on this football. As soon as he sees the receiver stop, changes direction, gets that long arm up in the air and knocks it away. Nice job in coverage by White as he shakes his head. Not on me, not on me.
They've moved some of their guys around so far early in the season. Some of their safeties now at corner and vice versa. 3rd down and 6 here for Rutgers. Scarlet Knights 1 of 2 so far here in the first half. Clean pocket and tight coverage, and it's broken up. Golden Nelson again, step for step, this time with Ben Black, and Akron forces a 4th down.
Man, Golden Nelson with another great stop at the defensive back spot, breaking up the pass. It's a clean pocket there by the offensive line. Callahan has had time, made a good throw, but the coverage was too good by Golden Nelson. It's going to force the Rutgers punt.
Yeah, there has not been separation here for the Rutgers receivers.
And I think that's a theme. We talked to Kirk Soraka. He said at some point one of our receivers has to become our #1 guy. We have not yet seen it.
Jacob Anderson on for his first punt of the afternoon. Marion Granger back deep to receive. Pressure up the middle. Anderson got it away, but it's a short kick. And Granger grabs it at the 38-yard line with a fair catch. So a 41-yard punt. Nothing on the return. Akron hanging into this ball game. Their defense has played well and a touchdown game. Now, one of the things as we welcome you back to SHI Stadium that Akron put out last week was having Ben Finley and Taj Bullock, their backup quarterback, on the field together a lot. And Joe Moorhead told us yesterday that Taj Bullock will be a big part of the game plan, but so far he's been on the field for 1 offensive snap.
I expected Bullock to be a much bigger part of the plan than he has been so far today. Only 1 touch so far on offense. He's one of the best, most dynamic players on this Akron offense. I'd like to see Joe Moorhead try to get him more involved. Even though he's the backup quarterback, he's good enough to play at the receiver spot, the tight end spot, and I really thought we'd see more of him so far today.
Greg Schiano talked about him this week. The Rutgers coach said they recruited him. He's a New Jersey kid.
Yeah.
Went to Virginia Tech before transferring to Akron. Liked his ability, his movement, but he hasn't really played. He's not on the field now. Finley with pressure in his face, escapes the pocket, throws downfield, and it's low and incomplete. Newell, the tight end, the intended receiver. Finley got some space with pressure from Jordan Walker.
Man, watch number 96, Griffin, on the inside. Gets some pressure. Walker gets there as well. C96, middle of the screen, gets to the quarterback, forces Finley to scramble out. Actually, a nice job by Finley keeping the eyes down the field, flips his hips and makes a good throw, but Newell can't haul it in.
It looked like a foul ball going down the right field line off his knee.
Finley looked pretty athletic there, huh? Scrambling out. That's what he brings to this offense, but his receivers got to help him out here a little bit.
He missed his last 4 passes. Easier pass down the line to Granger with a nice room to get a few yards and a hit beyond the sideline. And there's the flag. Granger had gone out of bounds, and then he was drilled on the Rutgers sideline. This is going to add 15 yards.
I like the play design there of getting the ball out in space to your receiver, letting him run a little bit after the catch. Good block on the perimeter by Rush. Going to add on 15 yards
after
on
the
top
play. Personal foul, late hit, defense number 4. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
Now that is Desmond Igbinosun.
Watch Igbinosun here. Left side of the screen, number 4. He's going to come into the picture right here. And Granger's out of bounds. And Igbinosun, he's a veteran player. He's 3 steps out of bounds, and Igbinosun comes out. That is a critical mistake. An extra 15 yards for an Akron offense that your defense has been stopping. Igbinosun knows better than that.
So Akron set up with that penalty in the Rutgers side of the field, and another penalty.
False start, offense number 77. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, that is the 4th penalty on Akron, and a lot of them have been those type of plays, drive killers.
We talk about Akron finding ways to win games. Think about this. You just got a 15-yard penalty. You're now crossing midfield, and then you get a false start. Momentum's finally on your side, and then you stop it with things like that. Akron has to clean up the little things if they're going to have a chance to win this game.
Remember, they got inside the 10-yard line and took a delay of game penalty. Finley back to Granger. Picks up the penalty yards, and he's down to the 35. Loyal shoved him out of bounds. They pick up 10, and now Finley's starting to find a little rhythm.
Exactly what I wanted to see. When you can't run the football, use the perimeter passing game as your run game. Defensive backs are playing off, so Finley just has to distribute it. One read, makes a good throw, and Granger can pick up some yards.
And they're not getting chunk plays, right? Finley's got 61 yards passing on 14 attempts. Just about 4 yards per attempt. It's not necessarily anything that's going to be an explosive offense, but they're keeping time of possession and staying on the field. And a first down for Charles Killam on the ground.
There's the Akron run game coming to life a little bit. You have success throwing the football. What's it do? It opens up every other part of your offense. And Kellam's able to pick up a nice run. Good job by the offensive line. Watch the left side of the line here. That's Dane Shore, the left tackle. Really good block. Number 75, opening up that hole for Kellam.
You mentioned Dane Shore for Joe Moorhead. He was originally an Alabama commit.
Yeah, big-time recruit.
Remember, Joe Moorhead was the head coach at Mississippi State, so a lot of time down there in the SEC, getting some recruiting grounds. Finley with play action to the air and well over the tight end of Jake Newell.
Knowing Joe Moorhead at some point here, and that might have been it right there, they're going to take some shots down the field. We've seen them run the football. We've seen them have some easy completions. They're going to try to get down the field at some point. Good job here by Jordan Walker, number 82, getting to Finley, forcing the throw. You know, Finley just kind of threw that ball away with Newell covered down the field.
Still no Taj Bullock on the field for Akron. It has been all Ben Finley here this afternoon. Pressure, Finley escapes. Gets away from Thompson and hit from behind by Rutgers, but not before he picks up 8 yards.
Great recognition here by Finley of just feeling the pocket. Great feel here. Watch him see the defensive line come upfield, sees the hole in the defense, and tucks it, runs right away. And then shows the athleticism to break a tackle, stay on his feet. When that D-line pass rush is too far up the field, it opens up that QB run game. And as we see Taj Bullock come back on the field to see if they get him involved here on third down.
Now, there's a lot of confusion. A lot of the Akron players were looking over to the sideline. Am I coming out? Are you coming out? See if Joe Moorhead needs to take a time out here, but they're still not lined up. And they're still holding because of all the substitutions. Play clock's down to 1, and Akron doesn't see it. Here comes a delay of game penalty.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
What?
And Joe Moorhead's complaining here because he's telling the official that they were holding his offense because they knew that substitutions had to be made because Akron had late substitutions.
Yeah, but part of the issue there is that Akron substituted late on the play, which then holds the ball. But I agree with Joe Moorhead. At some point, you got to let us snap the football when the delay game's coming. But the issue started with Akron's confusion on offense.
Joe Moorhead's got to think about a timeout there,
right?
I mean, you had a third down and 2.
It almost seemed like they weren't aware of the play clock, which is alarming.
And now Bullock is off the field, and they lost all of it. Right up the gut, Jordan Thompson, who made his first career start last week, and he makes the stop. And Akron's going to have to settle for a long field goal attempt again.
Well, on third down, your best player's got to make plays. Watch 14 come right through the middle of the defense. Jordan Thompson sniffed out the run the entire time on third down and 7. Thompson's a long, physical defensive end. Played some last year, but now really coming into his own here in week 2.
So Smith missed from 41, going the other direction in the first quarter. He'll try again from 41. High snap, put down, kick is up. And this time it's good. Now there is a flag down, and there's also an Akron player down right near the line of scrimmage. That's the kicker. Garrison Smith, that was in the backfield. So that flag is right near where Garrison Smith is lying on the ground.
Running to the kicker. Defense. That penalty's declined. The field goal is good.
So they won't take the points off the board for what would have been a 5-yard penalty, not a 15-yard penalty. Great job by the holder to get that snap down. Now tonight, number 2, Ohio State takes on Western Michigan in prime time at the Shoe. Coverage gets going 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Well, the Buckeyes know what it's like to be in a first-half tussle with Akron. Last week took everything they had to build a 17-3 halftime lead against the Zips. Here was 6:06 to go in the second. Rutgers up just 7-3 on Akron.
You got to think that game gave Akron some confidence when you're playing the best team in the country and you're down only 17-3 at half. They got to make you feel pretty good going into the week 2 against Rutgers.
Out to the 25 after the touchback, downstairs to Taryn Hatcher.
Well, guys, I know you've talked about Kyle Monungai's efficiency both last season in week 1 and so far today. I talked to Kyle Monungai about his goals for this season, maybe what he expected would be different or hoped would be different. And he said, well, you know, my second year in this offense, I think last year I learned it, I understood it. He said this year I feel like I know how to use it. I understand it enough to manipulate it to my strengths. And Greg Schiano added to that. He said he is in the mastery phase of playing within this offense. He said he's already got such a good feel, and now he's got an amazing understanding of this offense as well, guys.
And as Adam talked about, Taryn, before this game started, it's his vision to see things that have developed over his time here at Rutgers that has been so impressive. And his blocking ability, too. Great pocket, deep down the field into double coverage. And it's incomplete for Dymere Miller. Devontae Golden Nelson out there along with Justin Anderson, both in on coverage.
And Rutgers comes out on first down, taking the shot. But watch number 3, Golden Nelson. Good job in coverage, along with Anderson getting to the football. Both of those defensive backs do a good job looking back at the ball, which keeps the refs from throwing that pass interference flag. If they didn't look back at the ball and try to make a play on it, that could have been PI. But nice job by the Akron DBs.
Oh, that's the first pass this season for Rutgers that has traveled 20 yards down the field. Last week they said they had a couple of them called, but Caliac Manis knew, hey, they wasn't there, changed to something else. Not sure that was there either for Dymere Miller into double coverage. So they go back to old reliable. No, that's the ground. It's not Monungai, it's the freshman Antoine Raymond. And on his first carry of the game, picks up 7 yards. There are so many high hopes for this Canadian for Montreal. He runs violently, and he showed it there.
Yeah, watch Raymond here. Hit the hole hard, lower his pads, keep the legs turning. Raymond's a kid that had 30-plus Power 4 offers, one of the top running back recruits in the country, who then reclassified, and Greg Schiano landed him to come to Rutgers. Big recruiting win for Schiano in this program.
5.5 to go in the second. That was the first offensive play that Monungai was not on the field.
He's a workhorse, man. And I bet he begs to stay on the field.
He's got the football on the first down. Oh, and he's got space. Monungai makes another man miss. He's trying to get to the end zone. And brought down at the 5. Oh, he ripped off another huge run to set up Rutgers with first and goal.
What a run by Monungai, but it all starts with the offensive line up front. Just look at the job of the 5 offensive linemen for Rutgers getting movement. Watch these guys. Inside zone to the left, and then the vision by Monungai. It flows to the left. He puts his foot in the ground and cuts back. Beautiful job reading it out. Then Monungai with the speed to make it an explosive play, trying to get the end zone. And that vision is so impressive on those zone plays, and the feel for the game is evident.
Officially 62 yards. First and goal, Raymond. And he's bottled up in the backfield and thrown to the turf after a loss of 2. Monungai already over 150 yards here in the first half. Tied his career high last week with a 165. And he's doing it again today against a very good run defense.
Yeah, and Jason, let's remember, that was a third down play of that run play, the explosive run we just saw. That was a big play in this ball game in a 7-3 game. Nice job by Monungai making it a 50-plus yard run.
Second and goal for Caliac Manis. 3:50 to go in the second. Raymond still on the field. On the rollout towards the end zone. Caught! Touchdown Rutgers! Chris Long makes the grab inside the pylon. The Scarlet Knights capitalize on that Monungai run.
That's where Kaliak-Manis is at his best on the movement. Watch him roll out to the right. He finds Chris Long in the corner, rifle of a throw right at the
Offense
pylon.
number 59. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Now there was a flag that we did not see on the far side of the field. It was over on the sideline, on the Rutgers sideline, and that will wipe that touchdown off the board. Ineligible man downfield.
Greg Strano's asking what happened, why'd that get called? Sometimes on those run-pass option plays, your offensive line thinks it's a run play, so they're blocking down the field. That's why Kaliak-Manis has to get the ball out quickly in that situation.
Just the second penalty on the Scarlet Knights this afternoon's a big one. Trying to throw again. Pressure. Kaliak-Manis has to throw that away. That was a great job coming through for Akron, getting into the backfield. Cam Cheatham. He ran right into Raymond, but there was a penalty as well.
Holding. Defense number 21. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
And so you get a penalty, I take a penalty, and now it's 1st and goal.
That's a crucial holding penalty on Akron's defense. That's on White. It's a tough penalty, especially after you just said it, Jason. You just got a penalty of the legal man downfield. Now you're giving up a 1st down and goal to this Rutgers offense.
An afternoon where Kaliak-Manis really yet to feel comfortable. Had to face a lot of pressure, tight coverage. He's just 5 of 13 passing here this afternoon. Monungai's back in the game. He's got the handoff, and he's wrapped up by that defensive line. Nate Kapongo, grad transfer from New Hampshire, stops him after a gain of 1, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Kapongo with a really nice play on the inside of this defensive line. Watch 99, middle of the screen here, come off the block and wrap up Monungai. Tough guy to bring down. Kapongo is 6'4", 285. Big guy in the middle of that defense that's really stout for Akron.
And again, one of the things you talk about with Akron here, and you mentioned it coming into this game, yes, their defense, 2-10 the last 2 years, but their defense has kept them in a lot of games, and their front, very experienced. A lot of seniors, a lot of 6th-year seniors along that defensive line. Heavy package here for Rutgers and Kaliak-Manis with 1 on the play clock. Monungai trying to break through, and again, they're pushed back. Nunnally drags him out of the pile. McCoy, the linebacker, made the initial hit, and now it's 3rd and goal.
And Rutgers there brought in multiple extra offensive linemen. They have a tackle playing tight end. Look at all the offensive linemen here. But number 19, Nunnally, scrapes down the line of scrimmage and actually pulls Monungai back. Nice job there by Nunnally collapsing the offensive line and making a stop.
Now we'll see what Rutgers decides to do. Remember, this is the first year of the 2-minute timeout in college football. They can snap it, they do not have to. Still looking over to the sideline here. They're taking a long time. And they're not going to take it. So we have reached the 2-minute timeout. Greg Schiano's team thought they had a touchdown. It was wiped out with a penalty. And a 3rd and goal coming up on the other side. Coming up, Michigan State collides with Maryland in the conference opener, and Washington plays host to Eastern Michigan, also out of the MAC today at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Go to btn.com/gamefinder for channel locations in your area. So 3rd and goal here for Rutgers coming out of the 2-minute timeout. And Adam Brenneman, you were asking the question, are you thinking 2 plays? Run game in play here.
If I'm Greg Schiano, I'm telling my team, we are absolutely punching this in. We're not kicking a field goal from the 5-yard line, and we're getting a touchdown. So run game could still be in play here on 3rd down from the 6.
One guy already 154 yards in this first half. They are going to the air. Kaliak-Manis into cover. Oh, it's deflected and caught. KJ Duff, the freshman. Look what I found for my first career touchdown.
You talk about being in the right place at the right time for KJ Duff. Kaliak-Manis is trying to get the ball to his tight end, Fletcher. Watch the throw here. Kaliak-Manis rifles this thing in there to his tight end. Bounces off the shoulder pads, actually bounces off Adler's hands, and KJ Duff with a great job being aware of where you're at on the field. heads-up play, catching the deflection for the touchdown.
That's a defensive end in a position that he is not normally in.
Man.
And had a chance for a huge interception. Low snap, they put it down, and Jay Patel's extra point is good. Holy cow. We had a lot happen in the last couple of minutes, but it's KJ Duff and the big freshman in the end zone for the first time in his college career. Now Rutgers student section been waiting for a party. I'm guessing with the first week of school, the party's been on all week. Jason Horowitz, Adam Brenneman, Darren Hatcher down on the field. You know, last week the offense, they scored 44 points, but it really wasn't until the second half they got going. It was a touchdown game. They got a field goal late. See what Rutgers does here. Remember, Akron will get the ball to start the third quarter. So a big drive coming up for the Zips. A line drive kickoff that's bouncing towards the sideline and it will go out of bounds. So a mistake there by the kicker, Jack Scullione. Well, that's the last thing you want, too.
You're now going to give Akron great field position to start this 2-minute drive.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team number 93. The ball placed at the 35-yard line. It's first down.
So Greg Schiano having that conversation with his new kickoff man. Coming up, the halftime report sponsored by Defender. Rick Pizzo, Howard Griffith, Jerry DiNardo, Brock Vereen along in our Chicago studios. They'll got you covered with all the stats and highlights and the scores from around the Big Ten. A big one there in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Texas. Penn State, a tough one with Bowling Green. It's all coming up at the half. And right on the first play, a beautiful delivery. Finley found Adrian Norton beyond midfield. And just like that, Akron into Rutgers territory.
Great first throw of the drive here by Ben Finley. Akron with the football. That's the biggest key on these 2-minute drives. Get your first down, then your offense can get rolling. Nice way to start the drive.
And he got out of bounds, so Akron able to preserve their 2 timeouts that they have left here with 1:48. Plenty of time for the Zips. Nice pocket, open man, and it's through his hands and he's drilled. Bobby Golden had it on his shoulder pads, but Shaquan Loyal came over to make sure jarred it loose.
Rangy play here by Loyal. Watch number 6 come into the screen. The safety drive on this football, runs sideline to sideline. Loyal was at the middle safety spot, drives down on the throw to Bobby Golden and delivers the big hit to bring up the pass. Nice play by Loyal.
You talked about the accuracy, though, from Finley, from NC State and Cal. You can't put that ball in a better spot.
It's a great throw. Bobby Golden has to come down with that catch, especially in these. That would have been a big play for this 2-minute drive.
Scarlet Knights bring pressure out to the edge. It's caught. Well, they say it bounced. So it's incomplete.
Incomplete pass.
Thrown out to the running back, Jordan Simmons. Not that time is really an issue yet for Akron, but that would have lost 2 yards.
Yeah, and you'd rather this pass be incomplete than caught right here. It's going to stop the clock, and you won't lose 2 yards.
I would say this, though. If you're worried about giving Rutgers the ball back with a lot of time, maybe they would have preferred that be caught because then you take off some time.
It's a great point here in 3rd down and 10. Rutgers still with all their timeouts.
Finley's in trouble. He's running for his life. Backpedaling. It's a duck, and it bounces. Oh, it's intercepted. Oh, they say it hit the turf first. The deflections have gone Rutgers' way in the last 2 minutes, and it seemed like Bo Masco was about to have a pick.
It's a game of inches, man. That thing was close to being an interception. Let's see if this ball hits the ground. Finley throws across his body. Jordan Thompson actually got a hand on that thing, which, yeah, looks like the ball bounced there on the ground. Good call by the official. Yep, see it bounce right there. Great camera shot. Going to bring up the Akron punt on 4th down and 10.
Remember, Avery Book pinned Rutgers back at the 1 on his last kick. He angles this one. Dremel lets it go. It goes into the end zone, so a 50-yard punt, but the Scarlet Knights will bring it out to the 20 with plenty of time. We'll step away for 15 seconds. 14-3, Scarlet Knights have the lead, and now with 1:19 and all 3 timeouts, I mean, Rutgers really has a chance to take advantage here and maybe get some points before the half. As we take a look at our advanced stats sponsored by IFS.AI. Second consecutive game with 100+ rushing yards for Kyle Monungai before halftime. And this week he's only 11 shy of tying his career high, which he had last week. Still plenty of time for Kaliak Manis with 5 on the play clock. He's got Monungai trying to break it out to the left and tack on about 5 more. So he's up near 160 here in the first half. And we'll see how aggressive Greg Schiano plays this here in the 2-minute drill. Remember, Akron does get the football to start the second half. Kaliak Manis to the air, dumps it short. Chris Long has the first down. So since we're inside of a minute here, that clock will stop on the first down.
A good throw there by Kaliak Manis, getting the first down. You got 3 timeouts. Time's on your side here, but got to move fast.
Tough pass, almost grabbed out of the air. Ian Strong almost brought that in, but again, Kaliak Manis continues to throw into traffic the entire half.
Yeah, risky throw here by Kaliak Manis. You can't throw the ball late across the field, because what just happened there, Darian Lewis, the nickel back, is able to drive on the football and almost have an interception. If you're going to throw it far across the field, it's got to be out on time and be out quick.
Well, and Adam, even the touchdown pass to KJ Duff was between 3 different Akron defenders.
Yeah, risky throw there. And the critical point in the ball game there on that touchdown, that could have been an interception if the ball bounced the other way.
Kaliak Manis below 50% passing here in the first half. The accuracy certainly was one of the questions last year at Minnesota too. On second down, that's a much better look. Dynamir Miller got free, and he's out of bounds inside the Akron 40-yard line.
And as we talk about his accuracy, Kaliak Manis comes back and delivers that. Perfect throw here. Watch him in the pocket, poised, knows where he's going with the football. Makes a good decision right on the money, and that throw allows Miller to pick up a few extra yards after the catch. In these 2-minute drives, when you don't have a ton of time, those explosive plays increase your percentage odds of scoring a touchdown so much. Big play there for Kaliak Manis.
Now, last week, the Scarlet Knights got the ball back with 40 seconds, tacked down a field goal before halftime. They had more than that here on this one, and they're approaching field goal territory for Jay Patel. Kaliak Manis wants it all to the end zone. One-on-one coverage, and it's incomplete. Strong, the intended receiver. Joey Hunter, step for step.
Good coverage here by Joey Hunter, the defensive back from Georgia, transferred in from South Carolina, seen a lot of big-time football. Good job playing the ball there against a receiver who's much bigger and longer than you are. Nice play by Hunter. And here with 3 timeouts still, Jason, a lot on the table. You can still get the ball in space. You don't have to worry about getting out of bounds because you have these timeouts.
Well, Jay Patel is hit from 50. From here, it would be about a 55-yarder. Kaliak Manis on the money, down to the 25 and a sliding grab for Chris Long. Pulls in his second catch of the half, and now Greg Schiano will take that first timeout with 26 seconds.
Yeah, the great part about having those timeouts is it allows you to call that timeout when it's in the middle of the field. Rutgers got the ball when we come back.
Now, there are a lot of things that Greg Schiano may not like about this first half from the offensive side of things, but the 2-minute execution so far early in the season, one of the things he's going to be happy about. They've done it very well early here in this season. Fresh set of downs with 26 seconds and 2 timeouts. Kaliak Manis, safe throw, good throw, and Long with another catch and gets out of bounds.
Talking about looking in rhythm for Kaliak Manis, he has looked really good this drive. Sitting in the pocket, been really accurate with the football. Watch this throw, right on the money to Long. Good job by Kaliak Manis.
Rutgers approaching 300 yards of offense here in the first half. Remember, Akron only gave up 400 yards total last week to Ohio State. Maybe a time for a shot. Callahan Manis looking end zone right on cue. And it's over the head, but a flag. It's down in the end zone, and this is going to set him up first and goal at the 2.
Pass interference. Defense number 3. Foul occurred in the end zone. The ball placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic. First down.
Golden Nelson, number 3, is going to be the left side of the screen, come in the picture. He doesn't even look back at the football, so he just runs into the receiver long. It's going to be pass interference every single time. Good call by the official.
Well, and you think about the turn of this game all of a sudden. Rutgers, Akron thought they had an interception in the end zone. Instead, it's a touchdown. Akron got the ball, couldn't do anything. And now with Monangai trying to lower his shoulders, cannot get there. He stopped at the 1. And Greg Schiano takes his second timeout with 12 seconds to go. Another opportunity here for Rutgers as well. 1 timeout remaining.
Jason, one of the things about Callahan Manis on this kind of 2-minute drive and big moments, he's been there before, played a lot of football, and it helps when you have a guy who in the huddle on offense, all your teammates can look at him and say, this guy's been in this position, he's going to lead us down the field and make plays when it's most important. He hasn't been perfect today. We talked, the accuracy hasn't always been there. Bad throws, bad decisions sometimes, but he's made some huge throws on 3rd down in this 2-minute drill to line up a 2nd and goal here on the 1-yard line.
And again, still with 1 timeout, 12 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to, at worst, you have 3 plays, and you can run 3 plays with 12 seconds.
I think you got to go back to the run game right here. Tell your offensive line, we're going to pound it in with Monangai. Got 1 more timeout if you don't get it in.
And they added 1 second back to the clock, so now 13 seconds before halftime. 9th play of the drive for Rutgers. It started back on their own 20. It was 1:20 on the clock. It is back to Monangai. And he's in again! What a first half for Kyle Monangai! His 2nd touchdown, and the Scarlet Knights in control.
Monangai gets a touchdown, but Callahan Manis made that 2-minute drive happen. Monangai lowering the shoulder again behind that offensive line who's been dominant all day. But Callahan Manis was poised, he was confident, knew where he was going with the football, and orchestrated a perfect 2-minute drive to give Rutgers a 20-3 lead, soon to be 21. This extra point goes in.
Patel good again, he's still perfect on the season. And this has been an unbelievable start to the year for Kyle Monangai. Career high last week, and he's approaching it again here before halftime. Now Kyle Monangai, 162 yards and 2 touchdowns here in the first half. 21-3 with 9 seconds to go. You know, this was a 7-3 Rutgers lead at the 2-minute timeout. And the Scarlet Knights have scored a pair of touchdowns in the last 1 minute and 40 seconds. So all of a sudden, things have drastically changed here inside SHI Stadium. Pooch kick and a fair catch. Hauled in at the 31 by the running back Simmons. 9 seconds, 2 timeouts for Akron. Joe Moorhead's team does get the football before half. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I think Akron and Joe Moorhead will take this to break, take this to halftime, run the football here, and get to the second half. But you think about it, you just said it, Jason, how much a game can change in just a few minutes. It's a game of momentum, right? Rutgers has all the momentum. But you think about that KJ Duff touchdown. If Bennett Adler would have intercepted that football, this is a completely different ball game, but the ball gets tipped, Duff's in the right spot at the right time. And then Callahan Manis puts together the 2-minute drive, and it's a 21-3 game. It's a game of momentum, and Rutgers has done a nice job capitalizing on it.
So they are in the formation where Ben Finley will take a knee, and that will take us to halftime. Second ever meeting between Rutgers and Akron. First came down to a field goal back in 1990, but Rutgers' defense has done well and the offense is going.
In the biggest moments, they haven't made the plays. They've had the pre-snap penalties. They've been hurting themselves. If they can clean it up a little bit here in the second half, Akron is still in this ball game. And now, talk about the biggest drive of the game so far is this drive for Akron. To stay in this game, they need to put points on the board right here.
Second half kickoff into the end zone, onto the 25 for that drive. Back downstairs to Taryn.
Well, ahead of today's game, we had a very special event here in Piscataway. It was the 14th annual Eric LeGrand Walk to Believe. Eric was presented with a check for $117,000 for all of his fundraising and efforts, which benefits the Chris and Dana Reeve Foundation. I talked to Greg Schiano earlier this week about what Eric means to this program, and to him, he said he's the only Rutgers number that's retired. There's the big number 52 at the 50-yard line up in the stands. He said, I make sure generations of players know about Eric. He also signed Eric to a contract when he was with the Bucs because he said it was Eric's childhood dream to become an NFL player, and anything he could do to facilitate that, he wanted to make sure he did that, guys.
And Taryn, he said that he would have been an NFL player had he not suffered the life-changing, life-altering injury here at Rutgers.
Yeah, and he was one heck of a player here at Rutgers. It just means so much to this program. You can see it all over the building. Greg Schiano, when he talks about him, how much LeGrand means to this program and to the state of New Jersey.
Nothing on the first down for Finley, taking a shot. Got an open receiver, and it's caught. Bobby Golden out past the 40, brought down by Igbinosin. So a 17-yard pickup and a first down, and this is that Walk to Believe. And they do it here at the Boardwalk. Eric LeGrand finished, and the Walk to Believe is an all-summer-long event. You walk a 5K throughout, raising money for that foundation that Darren was just talking about, and Greg Schiano and Eric LeGrand sharing that special moment before the game.
Yeah, it was cool to talk to Greg Schiano about how he makes sure his new players on the team every single year know about the Eric LeGrand story and what he means to this Rutgers program.
Ball was thrown behind Polk, so it'll be second down. You know, that's the other part on the field here for Akron. They've had some good plays. They haven't been able to put multiple plays together.
Yeah, it's all about the consistency and the complementary football. You see Norton, who has not been involved today on the offense. 2 catches for 23 yards. Coach has told us Norton's the best player, the best receiver on this Akron team. They need to try to give him the ball, and here's a good opportunity.
Pull it again out to the perimeter. It's thrown low. Polk spins away from the first tackle, but Joe Bome is there to clean it up. So it'll be third down and long for about 6 yards here for Akron coming up. And again, you talked about the importance of this drive. They've had chances, right? They missed a 41-yard field goal. They've been inside the 10-yard line. Thought they had an interception when this game was 7-3. Instead, it was deflected and bounced around and caught for a touchdown. And they're staring at an 18-point deficit. And
give Rutgers credit for making plays in those moments. When it looked like things weren't going well, when Akron was moving the football, Rutgers found ways to get stops. And now on third down, this is where your linebackers have to tackle in space and your defensive ends have to get to the quarterback.
Just 2 of 7 on third down. They give it to Simmons on the ground. Maybe a surprising move, and he's right there at the sticks. Might have caught Rutgers off guard. This is not a team that has been able to run the football, and he's got the first down.
Good call there by Joe Moorhead, mixing it up. Everyone in the stadium thought Akron would throw the football there, decides to hand it off to Simmons and picks up the first down. And if you're Greg Schiano, you can't be happy about it. Third down and medium to long. We can't allow Akron to run the football on us for a first down.
Akron had just 23 yards rushing in that first half. Finley's got Lewis coming off the edge. He got out of there, and Finley takes off, and he slides down at the 32-yard line. So a pickup of 16 yards on the scramble for Ben Finley.
Watch the athleticism here by Finley. He's going to get pressure and roll out to his left. But look at how he keeps his eyes downfield, then sees that there's nothing in front of him, tucks the ball, and showing off some speed there, Jason. How about it? He's an athlete. Good job slotting there to avoid the hit. Really good play by Finley.
Aaron Lewis has had a good game. He's been in the backfield a lot. Quick throw to the edge. That was real beautifully. And the hit by Longer Beam jarred it loose. It's incomplete, and Polk is going to come over to the sideline.
Man, what a job by Longer Beam driving on this football. He's going to look at the quarterback's eyes, see him throw the ball, drives right on it, not going to break up the pass, going to make the big hit. Boom. Nice job by Longer Beam breaking up the pass. It's a physical corner, all 5'11", 178 of them. It's a guy that could play in the NFL. I think he's a day 2 NFL draft pick.
Finley has an open man, miscommunication, nobody there, and it's caught. Touchdown Akron. Adrian Norton was all alone, and he just waited for the ball to find him, and Akron has its first touchdown of the season.
Give Ben Finley credit for seeing the breakdown in coverage. Getting Norton involved has been a key for this Akron offense. They haven't done a great job of doing it until now. See, Bo Masco comes on the blitz, and what should happen is the safety there, number 6, Loyal, should be covering over top of Masco. He doesn't rotate to cover over the blitz. Ben Finley sees it all the way, and Akron executes on the Rutgers mistake.
Akron did not have 11 players on the field. They run in the extra tight end here for this extra point. Now, Joe Moorhead's team knew it had to get a touchdown to stay in the game, and 3 minutes and 15 seconds into this third quarter, the Zips did just that. He's got the tire, and they're in the ball game. 21-10 here in the third. Now, Rutgers defensive coordinator Joe Harris-Simiak not happy about what was really the first breakdown for his defense here in this ball game. A 35-yard touchdown to Adrian Norton. Nobody's around it.
Yeah, watch what happens here. The corner at the top of the screen comes on a blitz, and there should be a safety covering over top of Norton once that corner blitzes. You can't blitz the corner and not have anyone covering over top of the receiver. Shaq Loyal gets there late. There was a breakdown in communication. Either the boundary safety should have been covering that, or Loyal should have been over the top earlier. And it led to the Akron touchdown. Nice job by Ben Finley recognizing it. Akron's right back in this ballgame.
Now remember, it's a veteran Rutgers defense. They played a lot of younger guys last week with some of the injuries. Flip Dixon wasn't in the game last week. He is back this week. Kind of like a second coach on the field. Certainly an experienced secondary. And Black waiting for it. He's going to let it bounce. And so Rutgers will bring it out to the 25-yard line. Let's go back downstairs to Taryn.
Well, guys, after that defensive breakdown, I was listening in to Greg Schiano, who was also not happy over his headsets. He was saying, get the call in, I don't care, get the call in. So it seems as though some of that defensive breakdown may have been a breakdown in communication. We know they're working with these 15-second helmet communications, and there's a little bit of a learning curve for everyone. It seems like in that play, that might have been what happened, guys.
And the iPads, right? That's new too this year on the sideline. We've talked to coaches all over the country about the new communication that's everywhere. And that 15 seconds, Adam, that Taryn was just referencing, the headset communication from the coach to the player on the field shuts off at 15 seconds on the play clock. Monungai's first carry in the second half, he falls out to the 30. And with that carry, Kyle Monungai has a new career high. He's now up to 167 yards here on his first carry in the third quarter.
I'm not sure there's a better running back in college football. This is a guy that can play in any program in the country.
By the way, the old school colors, different players sending in the signals, still in play here.
Still happening. Still happening.
We haven't really seen the sheets, though, the bed sheets with the 4 different pictures up on the sideline. Back to Monungai. There's the vision, and he's got a first down out to the 37. So when you have the breakdown, you go to old reliable, back-to-back carries and a first down. And there is an injured Akron player down at the 35. That is Damon David, the safety for Akron. And so while they attend to him and look at his legs, we will step aside. Back here at Rutgers, 21-10. Scarlet Knights have the lead over Akron. Damon David helped to his feet. The defensive back had an interception here to open the game on Rutgers' first drive, and he walked off under his own power to the Akron sideline. He's on the tackle on Kyle Monungai, who is a new career high. Has been absolutely unstoppable here, and he's got the ball again. Closed up the hole. But Kyle Monungai approaching 200 yards, 250 yards, whatever it may be. He has been outstanding here this afternoon.
Yeah, almost 10 yards every time he touches the football. 9-something a carry. Every time he has the ball in his hands, it's got the chance to change the game. Got a chance to be a big one. And even after contact is where he's the most impressive.
And again, the other part to all this, we talked about it in the first half. he has only been off the field for less than one handful of plays.
Yeah, his stamina, his endurance out there. And I bet taking him off the field, they're dragging him off. They got to beg him to come off the field.
Alex hits Dymere Miller in stride and down to the Akron 38-yard line. That's a pickup of 21 yards.
That's what Rutgers needed when they took Miller in the transfer portal, a receiver that can play over the middle of the field that gives Cadillac Mantis someone to go to on this play-action RPO type system. Miller's reliable, has great hands, and makes plays when the plays are needed. Nice job there by Cadillac Mantis stepping into it with C.J. Nunnally coming off the edge.
4 catches for Miller last week against Howard and a touchdown. He's got 4 catches again here this afternoon. Monongai upended out on the corner. Joey Hunter went low to make the tackle. But again, Akron comes out, gets the ball first, gets its first touchdown of the season. How do you respond?
Yeah. And for Greg Schiano, this is where you want to see your team go from good to great. Complimentary football. When you have the lead, don't let Akron come back and score on the first drive of half. Then when they do, your offense has to respond and put a drive together, put some big plays together, and get points on the board.
By the way, if you're wondering why the Scarlet Knights were over on the sideline, there was a whistle. The officials stopped play to have Joey Hunter, who made that tackle on Kyle Monongai, come off the field, right? The independent check. Concussion check, so he was taken off the field. That's why there was the stoppage and the whole team was over on the sideline. Monongai's off the field. They're on this 2nd and 8. Antoine Raymond had a couple of carries in the first half. And he gets it again with the burst, breaks a tackle, first down, and Raymond is inside the 25, escorted out by Shimon Cooper.
You see the speed that Raymond brings to this Rutgers offense. It's why everyone in this program is so excited about him as a running back. Watch Raymond hit the edge here and then turn the burst on right when he crosses the tackle, breaks the tackle from Anderson and hits the Jets up the sideline. Good run there by Anderson. Sorry, by Raymond, lowering the shoulder out of bounds.
Another stoppage here for an injured Akron player. Now, there have been some great running backs here in this program. They're going to look at Shimon Cooper. Now, one of the things that you talked about coming into this game, Adam, was Rutgers is a team that knows that it has to have its offense be based around the ground game. But Akron's strength is its run defense. Those two things have collided today, and because of Monongai's career high, Rutgers has won.
Yeah, Rutgers has won that battle, and now for Akron, second half, I would sell out completely to stop the run and make Cadillac Mantis beat you.
Monongai switches gears, and again gets to that next level, and again stays on his feet. He's still going, but they blew it dead, and he can't believe it. Monongai cannot believe that they stopped it before his momentum, or at least how he felt was his momentum.
Second down.
Listen to the whistle here.
Well, I mean, there's no question that the whistle blew, but I'm not sure that his momentum was ever stopped. Was forward progress actually stopped? And he's getting his adjustments on the sideline. 2nd and 1. Raymond tripped up in the backfield. Great play by Justin Anderson coming up to stop him. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Great open field tackle by Justin Anderson. The corner coming off the edge to get Raymond down to the backfield. Watch Anderson here. I'm sorry, this is the Monongai run again. Let's take a look at this. He never hits the ground. That's where they blew forward progress dead, but man, when you got Monongai at running back, you better get him to the ground or he's just gonna keep chopping.
Not only did he never hit the ground, I'm not really sure he ever stopped. He's approaching a 200-yard afternoon, something that hasn't happened at Rutgers in a decade. It's 3rd down and 1. He's got the first down, and it's 1st and goal, Scarlet Knights at the 9.
There aren't many running backs in college football who get better and more athletic and faster as the game goes on. It seems like the more carries he's gotten, the tougher he's been to tackle. Another great run by Monangai. Watch him with the vision here, lower his shoulders. I love how low he runs to the ground. Makes him so difficult to tackle.
And another stoppage for an Akron injury. That's Brian McCoy, who was banged up a couple of times last week in the opener against the Buckeyes. Well, it's not that hot of a day here. It is sticky here in Piscataway. Certainly not that hot, around 75 degrees. I say that knowing that Adam Brenneman and I have both thought about changing shirts already. The humidity is a story. So McCoy helped off the field for a 1st and goal here for the Scarlet Knights, trying to answer the Akron open second half touchdown. Kaliakmanis to Monangai. This time Akron does still not get him to the ground, but they definitely pushed him backwards. Picked him a couple more yards, it'll be 2nd and goal.
Now at some point here on 2nd or 3rd down, we'll see if Rutgers, I'd like to see him go to the play action game. Everyone's thinking about Monangai running the football. You've done it time after time. This entire drive could be a good time to get the tight end, Fletcher, number 12, in the flat, off play action. Of course, I'm trying to get a tight end touchdown here, Jason.
Of course you are, yeah. Well, he had one last week. Converted defensive end at his 1st career touchdown last week. Kyle Monangai with that run. He now has a 200-yard afternoon. He's got it again. And he is over 200 yards, but he's about 2 yards shy of his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon.
Nice job those last 2 plays by the Akron linebackers, fitting up a tackle, getting Monangai on the ground. Not an easy task, as we've seen all day. That time it was Brian McCoy stepping up big at that Mike linebacker position. Big play here, 3rd down and goal. We'll see if Rutgers goes back to the run game with Monangai. But you got to be thinking Rutgers is in 4-down territory here on the 2-yard line.
Pair of tight ends, Kenny Fletcher and Victor Konopka. Kristen Tremble, the lone receiver, out wide. It is back to Monangai, trying the middle. He's got it. The hat trick for Kyle Monangai. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the afternoon.
When everyone in this stadium knows you're going to run the football and you can still do it, that's a credit to the offense, to the offensive line, and to your running back, Kyle Monangai. If the country wasn't on notice yet, they are now. 3 touchdowns for Kyle Monangai and a career performance for the running back.
And another injured Akron player, so the Akron staff getting their steps in this afternoon. And most of that on this drive. Kyle Monangai over on the side. That is Bennett Adler. He is the leader of this defense. Earned the number 1 during the offseason for leadership, commitment to strength training the team. Akron awards that number to 1 player on both sides of the ball, and they are checking out his left arm. But this has been Kyle Monangai's afternoon. He opened the season against Howard with a career-high tying 165 yards on the ground, and he has bettered that and then some today. 204 yards rushing for Monangai. Patel adds the extra point. And so Akron takes the opening drive of the 3rd down the field, and Rutgers gives it back to Monangai, who does what he has done all afternoon. Find the end zone for Greg Schiano and the Scarlet Knights. A lot more coming your way on Big Ten Network. Still to come, Michigan State colliding with Maryland in a conference clash. Washington hosting Eastern Michigan. And tonight, number 2 Ohio State with Western Michigan and 13th ranked USC against Utah State. It's all ahead, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Top 25 teams galore on Big Ten Network. Rutgers Well, they haven't been in the top 25 for a while, but they certainly have a guy who could try and carry them there in Kyle Monangai, who has carried the load this afternoon.
How about the new look Big Ten, Jason? Just so many teams. USC last weekend. So many great teams.
Akron with the touchback out to the 25-yard line. Well, the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway is back and helping college students chase their dreams. See full rules and enter before September 30th at drpeppertuition.com. September 30th, my daughter's birthday. What are we, about 8 years away from a chance to be in the student section? Are we eligible to enter for the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway?
I think we probably can.
Jason Horowitz out of Brenneman, Taryn Hatcher, happy to have you with us here. SHI Stadium, Rutgers up by 18. They will have a bye before going to Virginia Tech for game 3. Finley hands it to Bullock, who's going to throw, and he finds Finley out of the backfield for a 5-yard gain. And you know, that is the type of play that you talked at him about coming into this game that you expected to see a lot. That's really only the 3rd time he's been on the field.
Yeah, watch Bullock, left side of the screen, going to come in the picture here, catch the reverse pass. Then he's just playing quarterback. Throws it right back to Finley, who caught the snap for the nice little 5-yard play, easy completion. But Bullock brings a new dynamic to this offense. I'd like to see him try to use him more. It just makes the defense have to be on edge at all times, not knowing what he's going to do with the football.
He throws it laterally through the hands of Amarian Granger. You know, the other part to that, too, they haven't tested, with the exception of the broken play on the last Akron touchdown, they haven't really tested Rutgers downfield in this ballgame.
Yeah, and I think part of the issue there is the respect Akron has for the Rutgers D-line, not knowing if their tackles can hold up. So what they've been doing is what we just saw that last play, the perimeter passing game, get the ball in the perimeter, but that's a pass that has to be completed. That would have been a 1st down, give your offense some momentum, and instead we're Akron sitting at 3rd down and 5.
They had that first play for Bullock, which again, they hadn't run that. Last week against Ohio State, they ran a lot of those plays with both quarterbacks on the field in the first half. But then he's been off the field the last 2, 3rd down and 5. Pressure coming, Finley stands in the pocket, and that's broken up. Igbinosin step for step with Granger, and it's 4th down Akron.
Rutgers defensive line got to the quarterback quickly here. Finley had no time. Watch the defensive line. Aaron Lewis coming off the left side in Finley's face, forcing him to throw the football to a receiver who's not open. Actually hits the receiver in the face mask, but good coverage there by Igbinosin to force the incompletion.
Keontae Hamilton, and again, Rutgers today has been on top of Finley really every time he's trying to throw, and that's to your point about not being able to try it deep. Dremel back deep to receive the punt from Avery Book, who has been outstanding here this afternoon. This time he's got Dremel with a lot of space. He's got it at the 30, out to the 40, and Dremel upended at the 48-yard line. A flag came flying in at the end of that run. So we will see what that is, and there's an injured Scarlet Knight down on the field. That is Eric Rogers, who has now taken his helmet off, and they got him back to his feet. The senior from Burlington, New Jersey, last week a pick 6 for this defense.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's 1st down.
So that will wipe out the 19-yard punt return by Christian Dremel. But Rutgers in full control here this afternoon. Well, later tonight, the 2nd-ranked Buckeyes take the field at the Shoe for a primetime battle with Western Michigan. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Buckeyes last week, 52-6 in Will Howard's Ohio State debut. Kyle Monangai, 204 yards rushing. He is the first Scarlet Knight to top 200 yards in a decade. And he still has 19 minutes of game time to maybe come close, maybe pass Ray Rice's school record, 280 yards in a game. He's got it again, and he's got 4 more. Now, he had a backup and a line in a spot that doesn't usually happen on the field during the break. Taryn, what was going on the sideline over there?
Yeah, there were about too many people for the Rutgers tent over here. Eric Rogers and Thomas Amankwa waiting outside the tent while Davon Fuse was getting looked at. It appears as though Rogers is now out of the tent, so all of the issues have been resolved, at least for now, in terms of tent crowding. But yeah, the trainers over here busy at the moment, guys.
Now they are, and Caliac Manis to the air. His first deep ball is caught. Touchdown Rutgers. Chris Long. A 58-yard touchdown grab.
Beautiful throw by Caliac Manis, but an even better route by Chris Long. Watch the receiver gonna break out, look like he's running a post route, put his foot in the ground, get vertical, the defensive back bites up, and Chris Long tracks the ball in the air. That is a perfect route by Chris Long. The play action brings the safety up, and Caliac Manis with the accurate throw to allow for the touchdown. Great execution by the Rutgers offense.
Now really, since that 2-minute drive to end the second quarter, the offense has been clicking, and Caliac Manis, his decision-making, his accuracy has drastically changed from the first 20 minutes of this ballgame.
Looks like a new offense, and Caliac Manis looks like the veteran quarterback who's experienced that we knew he'd be.
His second touchdown today after the 3 touchdown passes in his opener last week. And the Scarlet Knights offense in full motion here in week 2. Now, Chris Long, the senior from New Jersey, injured in the opener last year against Northwestern, missed the rest of the season. But that is a massive touchdown at the deep ball they've been waiting to see from Ethan Caliac Manis.
Chris Long showed the speed there, the long speed he has to beat defensive backs vertical. And that's the explosion in this Rutgers offense that they haven't had to date. And they're going to need that kind of down-the-field passing game in Big Ten play.
Chris Long is a New Jersey high school legend, one of the best receiving seasons in South Jersey high school history. And trying to put that on display here for Rutgers. And again, they're still trying to find out who their go-to receivers are, but they've had a couple of good ones here today.
Watch Chris Long, top of the screen. He's going to look like he's running a vertical route and then put his foot in the ground to break the post. Watch number 19 jump up on it. As soon as 19 jumps up, Chris Long goes vertical. It's a perfect route. When you're a receiver, every route should look like you're running deep until you stop. When you stop your brakes just for a second, the defense bites up, but it doesn't happen if Caliac Manis doesn't make a perfect throw for the touchdown.
Yeah, and again, how much of this goes under the fact that every time that they hand the ball off, Kyle Monangai is gaining 8 yards.
It's a great point. When you have the run game, it opens up so much else in your offense.
Ben Finley's in trouble, and he didn't want the football anymore. And Taj Bullock couldn't catch the football, and it'll be second down and 10.
Looks like Joe Moorhead's going back to this Taj Bullock system where using the 2 quarterbacks, but now Bullock's coming out of the game after the drop.
Well, this is something we were looking at here, and again, just from snaps at quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Taj Bullock's the backup quarterback, but he plays receiver, lines up at tight end. He has taken 1 snap at quarterback, which was a Malcolm Ray sack. To Simmons on the ground, and he's spun down after maybe a couple of yards. Jordan Walker at the bottom in that pile. Again, you know, Rutgers has had that 1 breakdown defensively, but for the most part today, this defense has been pretty much handling the trenches.
They've been great. One of the best parts of this Rutgers defense is how they swarm to the football, literally. They are always around the ball. You have 4, 5, 6 guys making tackles. That's a big emphasis for Greg Schiano. You can tell how much guys love football by how they run to the ball, and this Rutgers defense does it at a high level.
Akron had 75 yards on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, but they only have 189 for the game. 3 of 9 on 3rd down. Lewis with pressure again. Finley trying to pick it up over the middle, and he left it short. Norton had got away from the freshman Kaj Sanders, but Finley couldn't get it to him at the 45-yard line.
Another great play by Aaron Lewis, number 71. Getting upfield to the quarterback, forcing the errant throw on 3rd down. Watch Lewis, left side of the screen, working against the tackle. Great job ripping through with his right arm, now retracing the defensive line. He's running after the quarterback, and Finley's got nowhere to go.
Again, this defensive line today playing without Wesley Bailey. Troy Rainey also not playing this afternoon. Rutgers hoping to get those guys back sooner rather than later. His D-line has been great. Pressure up the middle, and Book got it away. Dremmel's going to let that bounce. And it'll come to a stop right around the 26-yard line with 2:10 to go here in the third quarter. Quick timeout here at Rutgers. Clouds starting to move in on a day when the weather report came out earlier this week. There were potential thunderstorms in the area. The rain to this point has held out. With 2:08 to go here in the third quarter. And now some confidence too for Ethan Kaliakmanis. He started this ball game 5 of 13, but he has hit 7 of his last 8 passes. Back to the ground. Raymond showing the shiftiness, and he picks up 8 yards.
And with all the talk about Kyle Monungai, don't forget about Raymond now. He's a good running back, showed the vision right there. I like how Rutgers is going fast.
Flag flies. It's on the near sideline, on the Akron sideline. And it was thrown right at the snap. And in the secondary.
Illegal substitution. Defense, 12 men on the field at the snap. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, again, from a score perspective, 35-10, you look at that from the outside, it's like, hey, this game is not competitive. And you would have said the same thing last week, 52-6, Ohio State and Akron. But, you know, when we talked to Greg Schiano, he's like, they went step for step. They won a lot of plays against Ohio State last week. And remember, this was a 7-3 ball game at the 2-minute timeout of the second quarter. Now 1st and 5, Raymond stops right at the line of scrimmage.
To your point, Jason, you think about the touchdown that Duff caught in the end zone. If that play goes a different way, and Bennett Adler, the defensive end for Akron, is able to intercept that ball in the end zone, it was a 7-3 game at that point. It's a completely different ball game. But give Rutgers credit for finding ways.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 40. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down. Is number 40's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
Before you finish that, during the last timeout, Taryn was telling us in our headsets that Greg Schiano was talking to the officials about Brian McCoy and everything he is doing, all these things with the offensive linemen, and particularly number 65, Brian Felter. And that's exactly what Greg Schiano was talking about, and he earned that unsportsmanlike penalty.
Yeah, sometimes as a coach, you got to give the official what to look for, and you're likely to get that call. Good pickup by Taryn there, and gives Rutgers another 15 yards.
And Akron has done a lot of things. When you are a team that is a massive underdog and you need some bounces to go your way, you also have to not shoot yourself in the foot. And Akron has done a lot of that here in this game. 9 penalties for 64 yards, delay of games, 3 of them in the first half.
It's the little things for Akron on how to win football games. These things, these penalties, delay of games, the issues with substitutions. It's the reason that Akron's lost 3 games in overtime last season. It's the reason they've lost so many close games over the past 2 years. Joe Moorhead has to find a way to clean this up.
We got another injured Akron player. Cam Cheatham, the redshirt freshman from Pittsburgh, played in the last 4 games of last season, and he is now down on the ground. Rutgers is starting to wear down this Akron defense. Well, experience the expanded Big Ten Conference like never before with Big Ten Plus. Stream thousands of non-televised live events across the Big Ten. Plus, enjoy next game replays for every Big Ten game. Subscribe right now at BigTenPlus.com. Yeah, those next day game replays, certainly fun for everybody. Big all across. You miss any of those 18 teams you want to watch in this conference, you can see it. Cam Cheatham being helped off the field.
I'll be rewatching the Penn State game tomorrow.
I wonder what.
Checking that one out.
Yeah,
seeing what's going on in Happy Valley.
You have something about, you were at Penn State once? Is that what I heard?
Back in the day. Back in the day.
Former Penn State tight end Adam Brenneman. Taryn Hatcher down on the field. I'm Jason Horowitz as we will dip inside of 30 seconds here in the third. And because of that injury and the play clock resetting to 40, Rutgers does not have to snap this before the fourth quarter. And at the moment, it doesn't look like they are in any hurry to do that.
Tell you what, Jason, Caliac Manis looks like what I thought he would be with all the experience. I mean, he started off a little bit slow, but has now looked confident and poised and has made some huge throws in this ballgame.
Well, and he has led a Rutgers offense that has more than 430 yards as we head to the fourth quarter. Scarlet Knights trying to get to 2-0 on the season. Overalls never go out of style. Start of the fourth quarter. Jason Horowitz had a Brenneman Terran Hatcher down on the field. 35-10. Don't let anyone ever tell you that running the football ever goes out of style either. Rutgers today, 234 yards on the ground after 326 last week.
The identity of any Greg Schiano team, if they're going to be great, are going to be running the football, playing good defense, having elite special teams, and not hurting yourself with penalties. So far, Rutgers has been good at all those today.
Monongai stays on the sideline, giving way to the freshman Antoine Raymond. Akron trying to get pressure. Caliac Manis, nice grab to his tall freshman receiver. 6'6" KJ Duff, who had his first career touchdown right before halftime.
Caliac Manis has looked like a new quarterback in this second half. Watch him here in the pocket, comfortable, poised, knows where he's going with the football, and a perfect throw to his tall receiver for a first down. That's big-time football by Caliac Manis.
Another stoppage here. The officials are over on the sideline again. Another injured player. Now this is for Akron over there on the sideline. That is Devontae Golden Nelson. And you know, this has not been a normal situation here for the last couple of drives. See the catch by Duff and then Nelson on the tackle. But Adam, that is essentially on each of the last 7 or 8 plays, Akron has had a player come off the field. And so they continue attending to Golden. Nelson will step aside early in the fourth. Nathan Caliac Manis trotting back out onto the field, 221 yards passing. He's only thrown the ball 3 times here in the second half. They've done it on the ground and lengthy drives too, Adam, for what they had early in the third before the long touchdown pass to Chris Long. And you wonder if Kyle Monongai's day is done. 208 rushing yards today puts him in 10th place all time in single game Rutgers rushing history. And again, if this game were closer, he'd be climbing up that ladder. Give to Raymond, trying to get to the outside. He's inside the 10 before being brought down at the 9.
I can't say enough good things about this Rutgers offensive line. They have had their way with an Akron front 7 that is regarded in the MAC as one of the best. Tyler Needham, their right tackle, Holland Pierce, their left tackle, have been dominant today.
.246 yards on the ground for Rutgers here this afternoon. Back in the red zone, Kenny Fletcher, his first grab of the day, reaches across the pylon. Oh, and they'll mark him out at the 1. And Nathan Caliac Manis wants the touchdown. He's hopping mad. He wants to see that Fletcher got the ball across. Well, the crowd here inside SHI Stadium just saw it. I don't know that his foot ever touched out of bounds.
It looked from up here, Jason, that he got the ball. Let's see if he reaches the ball across the pylon. First, it's where he goes out of bounds. He's in bounds the whole time there. That's a touchdown.
That's going to be a touchdown. And they are going to take a look at this.
Nice job by Fletcher getting in the end zone there. Not allowing yourself to be stopped. Caliac Manis said, give me the touchdown on the stat sheet, man. Come on.
Well, not only that, too. I mean, think about Kenny Fletcher, right? They converted defensive end. Bowl practice last year, leading into the bowl game against Miami. They're like, hey, he was frustrated. He wasn't getting on the field on the defensive side of the ball. Like, why don't we try you out at tight end? You played wide receiver in high school. And they like, you know what? The first practice, they thought they had something. And he has certainly put the work in, and I think that's a touchdown.
Yeah, that's a touchdown. I mean, that foot hits the pylon. He's not out of bounds. Nice job there by Fletcher. You see the athleticism the coaches saw at the tight end position, and he had the physicality to block. The question that Kirk Soraka had was, does he have the hands? And Soraka said he's a natural pass catcher. We saw it right there on that catch in the flat.
You can't see where the ball is there, but I mean, his body, his feet do not go out of bounds until he touches the pylon. And so that is extended. I mean, that by all angles, as we take a look at, remember, the new Big Ten Replay Center, the beautiful center there in Rosemont. All final decisions will be made this year in this conference. But you and I both think that Kenny Fletcher's about to have his second touchdown in as many weeks.
Yeah, and I really like the play call, too, when you're running the football well, to run that play action, get the tight end in the flat. Callahan Manis makes a nice throw.
Here's the announcement.
After review, when the runner's foot hit the pylon, the ball was beyond the goal line extended. Therefore, the ruling on the field is changed to a touchdown.
2 touchdowns in 2 weeks playing tight end for Kenny Fletcher.
Fletcher with the tight end touchdown, lowering the shoulder. Don't let yourself be denied at the goal line. They always tell tight ends, when you get your chance, you better get in the end zone or you may not get another one. Nice play by Kenny Fletcher. He's got a bright future in this Rutgers offense at his new tight end position.
Well, you talked about Ethan Callahan wanting another one in the stat sheet. Before last week, Rutgers did not have a quarterback with a 3-touchdown game since 2020. But Ethan Callahan now has 3 touchdown passes in back-to-back weeks to start his Rutgers career.
You see Fletcher get in the end zone here. McCoy almost tackles him into the end zone. That right foot hits the pylon. The ball's past the goal line extended. It's a tight end touchdown. Good shot here of the beautiful camera angle. Fletcher looks like an athletic tight end too, doesn't he? What do you expect him to look like? He's long, he's physical, he's lean.
And he can block.
And he can block.
Right, what do you expect?
Tight ends don't block, what do you mean?
They do here. The final drive later tonight recaps the entire day around the conference. Tonight after football, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. That'll be coming your way when USC hits Big Ten Network tonight. They will take on Utah State. What an impressive performance last week for the Trojans. Miller Moss, game-winning drive against LSU in Las Vegas.
And it was great to see the USC defense bow up and get some stops in that game. Lincoln Riley's got USC rolling, man, and Miller Moss. Anytime Lincoln Riley has a good quarterback, and now that he's got a defense, don't count out USC for this Big Ten title.
It's that second part, right? You expect them to have explosive offensive players, and that was certainly one of the best games of week 1. Short kickoff, fair catch called for. Made at the 23-yard line, which is where Akron will take over. Well, again, back-to-back weeks, and a late flag there, too, behind the play. There's some after-play extracurriculars there, so we'll check that marker. Brian Banks, our lead referee, has had some a busy second part to this afternoon. But, you know, while they're having a conversation there about what this flag is going to be, and Ben Finley and Joe Moorhead still trying to figure this out, you know, one of the things if your Rutgers is going to come out of this game, red zone efficiency. 5 trips to the red zone, 5 scores.
Yep. Yeah, that's how you win football games. When you get an opportunity, when you're in the distance of goal where you can score a touchdown, you got to get it in. Rutgers has done a great job. When you run the football well in the red zone, it opens up everything else in your offense.
Offside. Kicking team, number 31. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced for the succeeding spot. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, receiving team, number 42. Will be half the distance to the goal. It's first down, Akron.
All right, so the fair catch was called for outside the 20, so that would be the spot there at the 23, moving forward 5 yards, 28, and half the distance of the goal, so we should be around the 14-yard line.
Jason, some of these penalties, though, Greg Schiano is going to be addressing with his team, especially on special teams. That is the one area that Greg Schiano takes a lot of pride in, that this Rutgers program has been great at for years. And we saw a block in the back kick on a big punt, block in the back penalty on a big punt return. Just saw the offsides there on kickoff. Can't happen.
Finley, quick throw out to the edge. No room whatsoever. Quick to the football again. Desmond Igbinosun, who has been all over the place.
Man, I love how Igbinosun plays the game. He plays that outside backer nickel position for the Rutgers defense. All over the field, always around the ball. He has elite instincts at that position. Watch him here, number 4, drive on the football, sees the pass happening, not one hesitation in his footwork, and makes a tackle for a TFL.
Finley trying to go the other direction. That's a terrible pass, and it's picked off. Quan Loyal with the interception, trying to get to the end zone, and he's down at the 3-yard line.
What a catch by Quan Loyal at the defensive back position to have hands like that. It's a great instinctual play by Loyal to track the ball in the air and make a play on the football. Watch Loyal here. He's going to come into the screen, playing the safety spot. Errant throw by Finley. Loyal makes a great grab. And now this is the fun part. Watch the guys blocking in front of him. Heinz Peter, number 44, getting the block. And Loyal's going to say to himself, why did I knock it in the end zone there for the defensive touchdown?
Akron's missing a ton of players. They're making some late substitutions here. Sudden change, certainly a part of this. And a new quarterback in for Rutgers as well. Ethan Kaliak-Manis's day is done with 3 touchdown passes. A Johnny Shepard in the ball game. He's got Raymond to his left. He hands it off. And Raymond just trying to cover it up, and he's thrown backwards. Antavius Fish on the stop. It'll be 2nd down and goal. And again, how quickly things can change. Right here in this end zone, Rutgers had a 7-3 lead with 1:50 to go in the ball game. And from that point to this point, where they're able to bring in a Johnny Shepard because the game is in hand.
Yeah, and give Rutgers credit for capitalizing in those situations where the game could have gone either way. The game-changing plays, Rutgers found a way to get in the end zone, to get stops, to make things happen when they had to in this game.
Shepard to the end zone. That's going to be pass interference. He was trying to find the freshman Ben Black for his first career touchdown.
Pass interference. Defense number 12. That fall occurred in the end zone. The ball we placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic 1st down.
Pass interference on Jarman, number 12. It's a transfer from Cincinnati, playing corner. Never went back to play the football. He's grabbing Black the entire way. Good call by the official.
So 1st and goal. Raymond inside the 2-yard line. And more flags. I don't think that's a flag. I think that's a napkin that's actually down.
It's getting windy out
The
here.
windy flag is down. Yep, there was a flag down.
Illegal substitution. 12 on the field. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. Still 1st down.
Joe Moorhead has watched his team really from the opening part of this game, have self-destructing penalties. Raymond again, trying to drive his teammates into the end zone. Raymond keeps the legs driving, touchdown Rutgers. Now for the 2nd straight week, the freshman from Montreal is in the end zone.
Phenomenal job by Raymond of driving his feet through contact to get in the end zone. There was no hole here. Nowhere for the running back to go, but he willed his way to the end zone. Watch him through contact right here. I mean, that's a defensive tackle he's going against, multiple of them, driving the feet to get in the end zone. You see the physicality and the strength that had Raymond as one of the top recruits in the country coming to Rutgers.
Last week, a dominant, imposing second half. And this week, the exact same thing. Greg Schiano's team has imposed its will on the Zips in a dominant second half. Now coming up, Michigan State set to collide with Maryland in the conference opener. Washington hosting Eastern Michigan today at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. You can go to btn.com/gamefinder for the channel locations in your area. 49-10, Rutgers 11 and a half minutes away from moving to 2-0 on this season. And Adam, they have looked more dominant today against Akron than even so they did last week against Howard.
Yeah, they've been dominant both sides of the ball. And give credit, too, to Rutgers' defense, holding Akron's offense so far to under 200 yards of total offense. This is an Akron offense that is multiple, does a lot of different things, is not an easy offense to play against. They have looked like a complete football team on both sides of the ball.
Now, that's some issues here with trying to get that ball to stay on the tee. We did not have weather issues earlier. The wind is starting to pick up. The clouds have turned much darker. The lights are all on here inside the stadium with 11 and a half to go here in this ball game. They got it teed up, the line drive kick. Short of the goal line, so an opportunity here for a return brought back out by Golden. And he gets just past the 20-yard line where he stood up right there. Now, you talked about the Rutgers defense, and with the exception of one drive and really one pass play, which was a touchdown to Adrian Norton, I mean, this defense has been all over the place.
Yeah, there's so many pieces to this Rutgers defense that can get it done. Malcolm Ray up the middle, number 9, big defensive tackle from Florida State getting to the quarterback. Then you got Jordan Thompson getting to the QB as well. Their defensive backs had some good plays. Robert Longerbeam making a pass breakup, then a tackle, and a big hit to break up the pass. There's so many pieces to this Rutgers defense. When the defensive line gets to the quarterback, having the back end, the secondary, to cover the talented receivers of Akron has been the major key for Rutgers today.
Well, now you get an opportunity, too, in a 39-point game to get some of those younger guys some experience. Bo Masco finishing off the tackle. This is a very experienced Rutgers defense. The linebacking core a little bit different with the injury to Moture for the season. And Tyreen Powell, who is coming back for the injury for defensive coordinator Joe Harris-Simiak, but you know, they're hoping to have him back in 2 weeks when they go to Virginia Tech.
Yeah, getting him back will be massive. And I think Jabome, the experience he's gotten stepping in has been enormous. And even though he didn't have a ton of tackles today, currently sits at 4, his instincts and flowing to the football is what this Rutgers defense is going to need, because they need depth at that linebacker position. The other guy, Jason, that's been really good today is Aaron Lewis, number 71. I thought he had a really nice day getting to the quarterback. It's not always about getting a sack, but just forcing a presence back there and making the quarterback get rid of the football. Lewis has been impressive.
Breaking through Simmons into the secondary. Biggest play of the day for Akron, and Simmons still on his feet, and he's going to take it to the end zone. A 72-yard touchdown run for Jordan Simmons.
What a run by Simmons. Breaking a tackle, using the speed. Watch Simmons here on the cutback inside zone, sees nothing's there, bounces it back to the right, and then puts on the jets here. Gonna break a tackle from number 37 and get down the sideline. Good job blocking by 15, Norton down the field. And this is where Greg Schiano says to his team, guys, we can't give up a long touchdown run like that no matter what point we are at in the game. Our twos, our backups have to be able to get stops on defense.
Jordan Simmons, the transfer from Michigan State, he was a big part of their offense during the 2020 COVID season. But he just broke off his longest run for Akron. And to your point, you know, his team may be in control, but Greg Schiano doesn't want to see that again. Football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Dairy Queen. and by Auto Owners Insurance. Blizzard sounds good right
I could
about
use a
now.
Dairy Queen Blizzard.
Yeah.
You know, like
What flavor do you go with?
probably like Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Anything with peanut butter and chocolate. That's my favorite.
I like the
I'm
new
getting
one
hungry.
that's got the cookie dough and the Reese's peanut butter at the same time.
Is that new?
I don't know. Maybe it's been around for a while. Jim Ressler, our producer, says he wants a s'mores. We can see if we can get that delivered.
That's a wild choice. S'mores for the Blizzard?
Why is that so wild?
I never heard of that.
You don't like graham crackers?
No, I want
Tight ends don't like graham
Give me
crackers?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups all day.
Jason Horowitz, Adam Brenneman, Taryn Hatcher down on the field. See if we get Taryn to weigh in on her favorite. Dean Blandino back in studio with all rules things. So after the 73-yard touchdown for Jordan Simmons, the kickoff back deep for the Scarlet Knights, and it'll be shy of the 20-yard line. Well, look, you were a coach, right? After your playing days at Penn State and UMass, you were a coach, and until the clock hit 0-0-0, there are coaching moments no matter who's on the field.
100%. In a big win like this, Greg Schiano is going to find coachable moments to say to his guys, don't think we're too good right now. We gotta go play Virginia Tech. We got Big Ten play coming up. There's little things that have to be cleaned up. And some of these penalties, some of the mistakes, some of the explosive plays, the run we just saw for the touchdown that Akron had, 73-yarder, those things need to be cleaned up. And you know Greg Schiano will be coaching them up all week.
Now, Ethan Kaliakmanis' day is done. 230-yard, 3-touchdown performance. This is the first real official drive for Johnny Shepard. He was on the field for the last couple of plays when they punched one in with Antoine Raymond, who's trying to answer Simmons' run, and he takes it out to the 36-yard line with a pickup of about 14 yards. I mentioned Kaliakmanis for 230 yards. Kyle Monungai also topped 200 yards on the ground. The last time Rutgers had a 200-yard passer and 200-yard rusher in the same game was the 2008 International Bowl. And that Ray Rice, that performance is the school's single-game rushing record with 280 yards, which reality is if this game was not at hand, Kyle Monungai might have approached that.
100%. And this Rutgers offense, everyone knows they can run the football, but add in a passer at quarterback that can distribute the ball, make accurate throws down the field, and manage the game. This is a Rutgers offense that could be dominant in Big Ten play.
Back to Raymond, who's now over 55 yards rushing. And, you know, to your point, maybe the most important thing for Ethan Kaliakmanis coming off of this game, he threw an interception on the opening drive.
Great point.
He was throwing into traffic for the better part of a quarter and a half, and he bounced back and delivered pass after pass after pass, starting with that 2-minute drill to end the second quarter.
Yeah, it was good to see him. You know, there's a stat in football. It's plays after critical errors. How do you play when you make critical mistakes? He made a mistake on the interception, came back, and then I thought really settled into this game. I think Kirk Soraka deserves a lot of credit for getting him some easy completions, making Kaliakmanis feel confident, and then to Kaliakmanis' credit, he made throws on third down in the red zone that he had to make to put his team in a good position.
There's some backups there on the offensive line all over the field. And, you know, Ethan Kaliakmanis came in, leadership, right? He's been at Rutgers for about 8 months after transferring from Minnesota, earned the captain that was voted on by the team.
I think that one of the most impressive things, Jason, is just being a captain after being on campus for 8 months, as you just said. I mean, voted by the team, not by the coaches. Your teammates say he's been here not even for a year, and he's the leader of our program. Talking to the Rutgers coaches, they said Kaliakmanis has been everything we expected him to be. And when you have that experience of playing at a program like Minnesota, he's won some big games. He's been in tough spots. He's been through adversity, too. I like quarterbacks that have been through something in their career a little bit. It wasn't always pretty at Minnesota, but now he's at Rutgers to kind of put a cap on his career and play the best football he's played yet.
Back to the ground. And again, now the second line of offensive linemen for Rutgers also starting to push up. 329 yards on the ground last week against Howard. And if they continue to do this, they're approaching 300 yards again here today against, look, Howard's defensive line, younger, smaller. Akron's defensive line, all experienced guys.
Yeah, CJ Nunnally is a guy that will play in the NFL on Akron's defensive line. Alama Lavea is a guy who will play in the NFL. See Murphy, number 54 right there. These are really good defensive linemen on this Akron defense that Rutgers has been able to run the ball against. They've been able to protect in passing situations. This is a big momentum confidence game for Rutgers against an FBS opponent.
And again, Rutgers may get away when this game is all said and done with a 200-yard rusher and a 100-yard backup.
That's got to be good, right? That's what you want, man. I mean, and to have a guy, you're going to need to spell Kyle Monangai a little bit throughout the season. He can't take every single carry when you're going against really good Big Ten defenses. So to have a guy like Raymond, to have a guy like Sam Brown who's out today that can come take a couple carries and not feel like your offense is taking a step back is big for Rutgers.
And he slipped trying to cut in the hole. So it'll be 4th down and about 4 here for Rutgers as we'll go inside of 6 minutes to go here in the ball game. And we'll see if Greg Schiano decides to punt this away. At the moment, he's keeping Shepard and the offense on the field.
Yeah, I think Schiano's going to punt this away here. I'd be surprised to see him go for it.
And we'll let this play clock dip all the way down and take that timeout. Nobody seems to be in a hurry as we're down to 10 seconds here on the play clock. And you just saw his lips. Punt team, get ready.
Yeah. It's going to take the delay of game.
And I think Akron's going to decline the delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Well, Akron's sideline is saying take decline. They did not. Well, they were overruled, so they will push them back 5 yards. Well, if you only have to send your punter onto the field twice in a game, you've had a good offensive day, and Rutgers has achieved that today as Anderson is on to punt just for the 2nd time today. Anderson trying to angle that one out of bounds, and it's caught at the 5-yard line. So he does his job, and the special teams unit does it as well. A 41-yard punt, and Akron will start inside its own 10-yard line. Well, Ethan Kaliak-Manis Day did not start off great, but you'll look back on it, and it was a positive one.
Yeah, so many good things to look at on film here for Kaliak-Manis. But started off with a couple bad throws, threw an interception, then had that tip ball, ended up being a touchdown. But look at these big-time throws. The throw down the field to Chris Long, right on the money, allowing Long to run underneath it. Then showing the movement, the athleticism to roll outside of the pocket, get the ball to your tight end in the flat. I was really impressed with how Kaliak-Manis bounced back from a rough start to the day to really have an elite passing day in the second half of this ballgame.
Akron has gone to its backup quarterback as well. We expected to see Taj Bullock a lot today in multiple roles. Didn't really happen as he's now in his normal quote-unquote role as the backup quarterback. And I think that, from Akron's offense perspective here is Kaliak-Manis and Rutgers, a very successful offensive day, 515 total yards for the Scarlet Knights. You came into this game and Akron talked about having both quarterbacks on the field at the same time, and it really never came to fruition.
Yeah, I was surprised we didn't see Bullock more used as a non-quarterback early in this game. There might have been something that Rutgers was doing on defense that made Joe Moorhead think the looks wouldn't be there. And then once you're down 3 touchdowns or maybe even 2 touchdowns, Joe Moorhead probably is keeping some of that in the tank to use in MAC play in games that he knows he can win when you're not down by 2-3 touchdowns.
As we'll go inside of 4 minutes to go, Joe Moorhead and Akron will go home next week. They'll finally leave the Big Ten.
Yeah.
After trips to Columbus and Piscataway, they will welcome Colgate before taking a trip down to the SEC in South Carolina.
How about that for a start to the season for Akron? At Ohio State, at Rutgers, then going to South Carolina in the first 4 weeks. I mean, man, that's a tough start to the season for Akron.
First down pickup for Charles Kellum as they will add some yards here to this total when it's all said and done. And they're approaching 300 yards of offense. But the reality, Adam, they had a 35-yard touchdown pass to Adrian Norton. They have a 73-yard touchdown run when the game was 49-10. And other than that, Akron's offense was completely shut down.
Yeah, I think if you're Joe Moorhead, you're saying to your team, listen, there's moments out there where we can play with these big dogs. We can play with Ohio State. We can play with Rutgers. I almost think there may be a sense of confidence that this team has. Talking to the coaches, one of the challenges is after those 3 games we just talked about, Ohio State, Rutgers, and South Carolina, for Akron to kind of still have the faith that they're a good team and not to be too down on themselves as they enter into MAC play. But that experience in those big-time games on national TV when you're playing the SEC, the Big Ten opponents, it's critical for this Akron team.
Well, and the other part to that, too, is you worry about how many, getting beat up, right? I mean, the Akron player in this second half, there was a span of 2 drives for Akron's defense where 7 or 8 players came off the field in a span of 10 or 11 plays.
Yeah, you got to keep your guys healthy, and I think that's why we're seeing Ben Finley out of this game. For Akron, too, even though you're losing, you got to think about the MAC play you're going to have the rest of the season.
Yell them back to the ground one more time. And that will probably bring us to the 2-minute timeout, barring a change of pace here in the last 2:15. And Akron not necessarily in a hurry. They are standing over the ball, but we have come down to the 2-minute timeout. Pretty impressive performance here in week number 2 for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Welcome inside our Big Ten Network studios. I'm Rick Pizzo. Get you back to the game you're watching in just a bit, but a reminder, so much football still to come here on the Big Ten Network. Up next, a pair of 3:30 Eastern kicks, including the first conference game of the year between Michigan State and Maryland. We'll also see Washington, Eastern Michigan. Coming up later on tonight, Ohio State against Western Michigan, and USC taking on Utah State to finish the night here on the Big Ten Network. For now, we send you back to the end of your game.
Now for the second straight week, Rutgers struggled to put away an opponent in the first quarter and a half, but man, oh man, did that change again right before halftime, and it's 49-17. The Scarlet Knights have the lead over Akron. The teams are getting ready for play here, and the 515 yards, so much of that, Kyle Monungai, who has not played for the second straight week in the fourth quarter. They haven't needed him to. Nathan Kaliakmanis back-to-back 3 touchdown passes for this Rutgers offense. Akron will have a 4th down here coming up.
Yeah, the most impressive stat for Monungai today is the 7.5 plus yards a carry with 27 carries. I mean, that is big-time numbers by Kyle Monungai. Credit to the offensive line. The thing, Jason, with Rutgers and Greg Schiano that I'm always so impressed with is how Schiano develops players. Finds guys who aren't super highly recruited, who he can turn into stars. You look at guys all over this offense and defense that have been in this program for a long time, have been in the weight room with Greg Schiano's weight staff, have learned the culture of what it means to be a Rutgers player, and now their careers are coming to kind of a pinnacle and in a big season for Rutgers.
And you got those rushing yards for Akron gone way up. But most of those on one 73-yard run with Rutgers backups in the ballgame. Look, swings it out to the backup tight end, Connor Kravac. And that will stop the clock here inside of a minute. Well, it's Rutgers, a couple of impressive openers at home. They will have a bye next week before taking the trip to Blacksburg, take on Virginia Tech, and then it gets going in conference play. A Friday night game here against Washington, trips to Nebraska, Wisconsin. But what's not on that schedule?
Yeah.
No Michigan, no Ohio State, no Penn State. Changes a little bit.
Yeah, there's no easy schedule in the Big Ten, but the schedule is favorable for Rutgers. How it plays out, having a bye week earlier in the season allows you to kind of get some guys fresh before you go into the hard part of the schedule. The game at Virginia Tech is going to be really big after the bye week, and then not having Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State gives yourself a chance to go into every single game thinking we can win this ball game. And as we talked about, Jason, year 5 for Greg Schiano, the expectations are high. And now that Greg Schiano has a quarterback that can win games, he has a running back who isn't just in the conversation. He may actually be the best in the country. An offensive line that's good, a defense that played lights out today. The pieces are in place to put it all together and make a run at this thing in the Big Ten.
Well, Fury makes the tackle on what might be the final play of this afternoon. Akron does not have to run another play. The clock is set to tick down, and that is going to do it here from SHI Stadium. Kyle Monangai, a career day for Greg Schiano with 208 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. And the Scarlet Knights improved to 2-0 in impressive fashion here on this second Saturday of the college football season. Out of mutual respect for those two longtime coaches, Schiano and Akron's head coach, Joe Moorhead. Cannons were fired often here today. Some firsts, but a high level of expectations. 49-17 for Adam Brenneman, Taryn Hatcher. I'm Jason Horowitz. Let's send it back to our Chicago studios and Rick Pizzo.